Chapter 831. When Zhao Yun'er's words fell into Lu Mulan's ears, it was as if Zhao Yun'er was complaining that Lu Mulan came over and disturbed their mood. No one wanted to be caught doing this kind of thing. Mulan pulled her lips awkwardly and said to Zhao Yun'er, "Yeah, why did I come here?" Mulan seemed to be in a hurry. She then looked at Zhao Yun'er and said to Zhao Yun'er, Zhao Yun'er, you can continue. I need to go back now." Saying that, Mulan turned around and was about to leave Zhao Yun'er's house. Zhao Yun'er's face was unusually hot. She glanced at Mu Lianfeng with hidden bitterness, as if she was saying to Mu Lianfeng, "See, it's all because of you that I was misunderstood." Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yun'er with grievance. He didn't know that Mulan would suddenly break in. Dao De went out to have fun, so he definitely wouldn't come back for a while. Usually at this time, no one would come to Zhao Yun'er, so she was more casual. Zhao Yun'er sighed deeply in her heart. She knew that even if she wanted to explain to Mulan, Mulan wouldn't believe her. Zhao Yun'er cleared her throat and stopped Mulan. She said to Mulan, "Mrs. Mulan, we didn't do anything wrong. Why are you here? Just tell me." Mulan's footsteps paused. She turned around and said to Zhao Yun'er, "In fact, it's nothing. I just came to tell you that my family's land has been settled with Li Zheng. Tomorrow, I can let Erhu go over and level the land. Then we can start building a house." Zhao Yun'er nodded. It turned out that Mulan came to talk about this. "Okay, then we can build the house as soon as possible. Our families can help each other." "Sure." Mulan nodded. "If there's nothing else, I'm going back." Mulan only felt embarrassed. It was better for her to leave as soon as possible. Zhao Yun'er didn't want Mulan to leave right away. She felt that if Mulan left at this time, she would have an indescribable feeling. "Mrs. Mulan, is there nothing else? Why don't you stay for a while and we can chat?" Zhao Yun'er said embarrassedly. She was confused and didn't know what she was talking about. Mulan glanced at Mu Lianfeng, who was beside Zhao Yun'er, and said in a hurry, "We don't have much time to chat on weekdays. I have a lot of work to do at home. I have a lot of things to do." Since Mulan said so, Zhao Yun'er didn't say anything. She couldn't stop Mulan from going back, right? "Yun'er, I'm going back now." When Mulan left, she glanced at Zhao Yun'er ambiguously and reminded her, "Yun'er, you have to close the door properly. It won't be good if someone breaks in. Don't you think so?" After that, Mulan left Zhao Yun'er's room and closed the door for Zhao Yun'er considerately. When Mulan was far away, Zhao Yun'er was still standing in her room in a daze. She didn't know what to do for a while. Mulan's meaning was obvious. She must think that something had happened between her and Mu Lianfeng. She felt sorry for her virginity. She couldn't clear her name even if she jumped into the Yellow River. Zhao Yun'er glanced at Mu Lianfeng with hidden bitterness, as if she was saying to Mu Lianfeng, "Don't do it again." Mu Lianfeng laughed and nodded. Today was definitely an accident. If he had expected it, it wouldn't have happened. "Okay, Yun'er, I promise I won't do it again." Chapter 832. The next morning, on the way to Yang City, Mulan couldn't help but get close to Zhao Yun'er's ear and start gossiping. "Yun'er, what do you think? His Highness is so tall and strong. He must have a good job, right?" Hearing Mulan's question, Zhao Yun'er blushed. She glanced at Mulan coquettishly and said to Mulan, "Sis-in-law Mulan, what are you talking about?" Mulan chuckled. "All right, Yun'er, don't lie to me. It's not like I didn't see what happened yesterday." Zhao Yun'er looked at Mulan helplessly. What could she say? What could she explain? No matter what she said, Mulan wouldn't believe her. "Sis-in-law Mulan, it was really a misunderstanding yesterday. His Highness was just teasing me. It didn't happen at all," Zhao Yun'er pouted. Mulan chuckled. "Yun'er, are you shy in front of me?" Zhao Yun'er naturally wouldn't admit to something she didn't do, not to mention this kind of shameful thing. "Sis-in-law Mulan, do you think I'm shy? Do you think I'm shy?" Zhao Yun'er said and winked at Mulan. Mulan saw that Zhao Yun'er didn't seem to be lying. Thinking of Zhao Yun'er's casual conversation with her, Mulan thought that Zhao Yun'er was indeed very generous and didn't know how to be shy at all. It seemed that nothing had happened between Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lianfeng. However, Mulan was slightly surprised. After thinking for a while, she finally said to Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er, Aren't you afraid that His Highness can't control himself? You've already given birth to Daodu and lived with him for such a long time. There's nothing to be shy about. Zhao Yuner didn't know how to respond to Mulan. It's his own business, if he can't control himself. It has nothing to do with me, Zhao Yuner pouted. Yuner, you can't say that. What if His Highness can't control himself and goes to find other women? His Highness has a lot of women behind him. Mulan deliberately said so to see Zhao Yuner's reaction. She couldn't understand why Zhao Yuner hadn't slept with Mu Lianfeng after such a long time. Since they had decided to be together and had slept together before, it didn't matter if they slept together now. If Zhao Yuner could get pregnant and give birth to a son, the chances of her marrying into His Highness's mansion in the future would be much higher. Zhao Yuner frowned. Well, if he dares to find other women and can't control himself, I'll divorce him, Zhao Yuner said very casually. After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Mulan couldn't help laughing. This was the first time she had heard a woman talk about divorcing a man. She wondered what His Highness would think if he heard it. Haha, His Highness is definitely a good man. Yuner, you must cherish him well, Mulan reminded her. I know, sister-in-law Mulan. Although the two of them were discussing in a low voice, Mu Hin still heard the content of Zhao Yuner and Mulan's conversation. When it came to the topic of men and women, Mu Hin lowered her head and blushed slightly. She who was inexperienced felt very shy. Thinking of that, Mu Hin recalled that after she finished washing the dishes last night, she was about to go to the toilet to relieve herself. However, halfway there, she was stopped by her brother-in-law's third brother, Zhu Sanlu. Chapter 833. Mu Hin found Zhu Sanlu's smile very creepy, especially his eyes, which were staring at her sneakily, as if he was sizing up his prey. Mu Hin sensed danger. Mu Hin looked at Zhu Sanlu, as if he wanted to do something bad to her. After all, she had to obey the family manager's orders in the family manager's heart. She felt that Zhu Sanlu was in danger, but she didn't dare to shout, so she could only avoid him. Mu Hin thought nothing would happen if she ignored Zhu Sanlu and stayed away from him. But she was wrong. Zhu Sanlu wouldn't let her go so easily. Instead, he blocked her way. Mu Hin, where are you going? Zhu Sanlu asked with concern. When Mu Hin saw the smile on Zhu Sanlu's lips and the look in his eyes, she couldn't help but frown. She replied to Zhu Sanlu nervously, I'm going to the latrine pit. Zhu Sanlu raised his chin proudly. Oh, you're going to the latrine pit. Let's go together. I want to go too. Hearing Zhu Sanlu's words, Mu Hin's heart skipped a beat. You're a man, and I'm a woman. How can the two of us go to the latrine pit together? If other people knew about it, they would laugh at her. Mu Hin didn't think she would do such a shameful and immoral thing. Zhu Sanlu smiled wretchedly. It's not a big deal. I can go to the latrine pit with my sister-in-law. It's fine even if the two of us go to the latrine pit. The latrine pit in my house can accommodate 2 people. Zhu Sanlu was talking about the time when he went to the latrine pit with Mrs. Qi. Mu Hin's view of the world was suddenly refreshed. How could there be such a strange thing in the world? How could a brother-in-law and sister-in-law go to the latrine pit together? Was this a joke? While Mu Hin was still in shock, Zhu Sanlu had already stepped forward and pulled Mu Hin. He said to Mu Hin, Let's go. Let's go together. When Mu Hin heard this, she was shocked. She didn't want it. If she really squatted down with Zhu Sanlu, wouldn't Zhu Sanlu be able to see all of her lower body? Mu Hin quickly withdrew his hand from Zhu Sanlu's and said to Zhu Sanlu, If you want to go to the latrine, you can go alone. I won't go. Seeing that Mu Hin was about to escape, Zhu Sanlu would not let Mu Hin off so easily. Instead, he stood in front of Mu Hin and pretended to be very concerned. How can you not go to the toilet? If you don't solve it in time, won't you suffocate to death? Mu Hin's face flushed red. I don't feel like doing it anymore. I won't hold it in. Well, if you don't want to go to bed with me, why don't you join me? We can also chat with each other, Sister Mu Hin, Zhu Sanlu said and moved closer to Mu Hin. He wanted to be closer to Mu Hin. Mu Hin wanted to step back, but unfortunately, there was a wall behind her. She had no choice but to let Zhu Sanlu get closer to her. Sister Mu Hin, do you know that you are so beautiful? I liked you when I first saw you. What do you think of me? Zhu Sanlu felt that he was at least good-looking. He was not ugly, and he was also a scholar. After he confessed his love, Muhin might agree. At this moment, Muhin only felt disgusted. Chapter 834. How could she accept such a man? I don't like you. Can you move away? Don't get so close to me, Muhin said, biting her lower lip. If it were an ordinary man, she would have shouted. The reason why she gave in to Zhu Sanlu was that she was afraid that her sister and family Zhu would make a scene if she made a scene. She had already caused enough trouble by coming here, and she didn't want to cause more trouble for her sister. Hey Muhin, I like you so much. How can you reject me? I don't mean any harm to you. I just want to have a chat with you so that you can get to know me better, Zhu Sanlu said, and started to touch Muhin from head to toe. Muhin was terrified. She had never been treated like this before. If Zhu Sanlu succeeded, she would let Zhu Sanlu take advantage of her. She was a woman, and she might not be able to beat Zhu Sanlu physically. She could only bite Zhu Sanlu's arm hard. Zhu Sanlu groaned in pain, and Muhin took the opportunity to run away. When she arrived at Mulan's room, she patted her chest to calm herself down. Although nothing happened in the end, Muhin was still traumatized. The Zhu family was indeed a little dangerous. She had to protect herself well. Xiaomao took them to Yang City. When they got out of the car, Muhin came back to her senses and hurried to work with Zhao Yuner and Mulan. Seeing Muhin in a trance, Mulan noticed and asked with concern, Xin, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? I'm fine, sis, Muhin replied. Could it be that he's exhausted? Mulan guessed. Muhin hurriedly said, Sis, I'm really fine. Don't think too much. You don't look well today. I thought something happened to you. Xin, if you feel uncomfortable, remember to tell me. Sister, I know. Mulan smiled and said, It's good that you know. You must be tired these days. Today, I'll weigh a gene of meat and cook it for you. Muhin's eyes lit up at the mention of meat. Usually, when she was in the Mu family, she would only eat meat during the New Year. Even if the Mu family ate meat, there was so much meat in the house that she could only eat one piece at most. Therefore, the taste of meat was quite tempting to her. The gluttonous worm in his stomach kept stirring, and he couldn't wait to eat it. Sis, is that true? Looking at Muhin's expectant face, Mulan's heart ached slightly. The corners of his mouth curled up. Of course. What's the point of earning money if we don't use it to buy meat? Sis, we still have to build a house. Shouldn't we be more frugal? It's fine. It's not like I'm eating it every meal. It's nothing. Mu Xian smiled and nodded. Okay, sister. Sis, let's eat this meal. Haha, Erhua. And the rest still need to grow up. There's no need to be so frugal. We can buy some meat every now and then. With our family's current situation, we can afford to eat it. Okay. Hearing Mulan say that they could eat meat, Muhin threw away all her complicated emotions and worked with more energy. Now she just hoped that she could finish her work early and go back early so that she could eat meat for lunch. Over the next 2 days, Zhao Yun'er's wood was almost ready, but Mulan's land was still under construction. Chapter 835. Their family's life was not very good now. Building a house would cost a lot of money, so they tried to save as much as possible. After all, he had nothing to do. If he worked alone, he would just be busy for a few more days. After Zhao Yun'er's family got the wood, they began to prepare to lay the foundation. When they were laying the foundation, the other bricklayers did not come. Only Zhao Yun'er's eldest uncle and second uncle, Su Yukai, and Guogui Zhen came. Zhao Yun'er's family was busy on one side, while Zhu Eru was busy on the other side. In the afternoon, the weather was getting hotter. Mulan asked Muhin to bring some water to Zhu Eru. When they arrived at the foundation bought by the family Zhu, Muhin's clear and sweet voice called out, Brother-in-law, you must be tired. Drink some water. When Zhu Eru heard Muhin's voice, he stopped what he was doing and took a rest. He smiled at Muhin and took the water bottle from Muhin's hand. He smiled at Muhin and said, Thank you for coming here. Muhin shook her head and said, It's okay, brother-in-law. You worked hard alone. I just ran some errands. It's not tiring. Zhu Eru drank a bowl of cold water, wiped his mouth and said, Xin, you can't say that. You worked hard during the day, and you came back to bring me water. Zhu Eru said it simply, but Mu Hin was touched when she heard it. How could she not be happy when her value was recognized? Brother-in-law, it's okay. No matter how tired I am, I'm not as tired as you and my sister. Haha, you should have a good rest when you go back. You have to take good care of your body. Mu Hin nodded and said, I know, brother-in-law. As they were talking, Zhao Ping'er brought water to the men who helped the third branch. This time, Ma Xiaofeng was dragged along by Zhao Ping'er to accompany her. Ma Xiaofeng was too embarrassed to refuse Zhao Ping'er, so she agreed to come along. He could also take the opportunity to visit Zhao Tianan and interact with Zhao Tianan. Father, first uncle, second uncle, come and drink some water. I've brought the water for you. Zhao Ping'er shouted. The men stopped what they were doing and walked towards Zhao Ping'er. Ping'er, you've worked hard, Su Yukai said with a smile. Of course it's hard work. I came all the way here to bring you water. Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips. She seemed a little unhappy and unwilling. The corner of Su Yotsai's mouth twitched. He didn't know what to say for a moment. If a normal person had praised him like this, their reaction would not have been the same as Zhao Ping'er's. Of course, Su Yukai didn't know what kind of person Zhao Yin'er was. Zhao Wenhua glared at Zhao Ping'er and said, How can you say that? You're already so old. Don't you know how to speak properly? Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips. She seemed to disagree very much. Father, I didn't say anything wrong. I came all the way here to bring you water. I'm so tired. Zhao Wenhua's mouth twitched. He glared at Zhao Ping'er and said, You haven't done much work yet, and you're already saying that you're tired. If I let you do more work, won't you be exhausted to death? Father, how can you be like this? I came all the way here to bring you water, and you're actually saying that about me. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have brought it to you. Umph. Zhao Ping'er stomped her feet angrily. Chapter 836. That's enough, Brother Wenhua. It's not easy for Ping'er to come all the way here to deliver the water. Don't scold her. Zhao Wenhua sighed. He thought about it and agreed. Forget it. If this girl continued to pursue the matter, she would be angered to death. Anyway, it wasn't the first time Zhao Ping'er had acted like this. Ping'er, you can go back after delivering the water. Zhao Wenhua calmed himself down and said to Zhao Ping'er, as the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. Since she couldn't see Zhao Ping'er, she naturally didn't feel anything. Zhao Ping'er was a little unhappy when she saw Zhao Wenhua's disdainful expression. Father, I worked so hard to come all the way here, and you actually want me to go back? You're too mean. Zhao Wenhua frowned when he saw Zhao Ping'er panting with anger. He only felt a headache coming on. Sigh. Who knew what was in this girl's head? She kept saying these strange things. If you don't go back, what are you doing here? The sun is so hot, and it's uncomfortable. Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips and said, Father, why do you care? Anyway, I'm just here for a while. Why don't you let Tianan rest and chat with us? Zhao Wenhua wasn't a fool. When he saw Ma Xiaofeng behind Zhao Ping'er, he knew that Zhao Ping'er was definitely trying to make Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng work together. Hence he frowned and said, We still have work to do. Why are you here to chat? Why are you delaying our work? Upon hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, Zhao Ping'er was instantly unhappy. Father, just do your work. I'm not delaying you. Tianan is still so young. Can't you let him rest for a while? You're so heartless. When Zhao Ping'er said that, Zhao Wenhua blushed. All right. Just rest on Tianan. Zhao Wenhua said in a fit of pique. Thinking about it, it was useless for him to interfere. This time, Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng did not stay together for a while. Later, they would definitely find time to make up for it. Since that was the case, he might as well not waste the effort to stop them. Hee, father, that's right. Go and do your work. Tianan, come here. Zhao Ping'er said and waved at Zhao Tianan. As soon as Zhao Tianan saw Ma Xiaofeng, he was extremely shy. He lowered his head, but his ears were red. Big sister. Zhao Tianan shyly called out to Zhao Ping'er. Tianan, why are you so restrained? Come here. Don't stand so far away. Zhao Ping'er called out to him. After Zhao Ping'er said that, Zhao Tianan shyly walked over. However, He still did not dare to raise his head to look in the direction of Zhao Ping, and Ma Xiaofeng. Zhao Ping, could not help but tease him. Tianan, why are you so shy? Really? If you're so shy now, when you're with Xiaofeng in the future, will you not even dare to hold her hand? Not even dare to kiss her lips? After Zhao Ping said that, Zhao Tianan lowered his head even more. Big sister, what are you talking about? Thinking about holding hands and kissing Ma Xiaofeng. Zhao Tianan's heart thumped nervously. Not to mention holding hands. Even if he got close to Ma Xiaofeng and leaned against her, he would be embarrassed. However, his sister did not know what he was thinking. She probably thought that he was thick-skinned and did not know how to be shy. Zhao Ping's words also made Ma Xiaofeng feel a burst of embarrassment. How could she say it so bluntly? Only Zhao Ping dared to say it so carelessly. If others heard it, they would probably be laughed at and scolded. Chapter 837. Big Sister. Zhao Tianan pouted coquettishly like a little girl. He looked at Zhao Ping, with a hint of resentment in his eyes. Seeing Zhao Tianan's little red face, Zhao Ping realized that her little brother was shy. Zhao Ping couldn't help but laugh. Haha Tianan, this is really nothing. It's just holding hands and kissing. What's there to be embarrassed about? When you and Xiaofeng get married, you'll still have to do that in bed. You're so shy. How are you going to do that with Xiaofeng in the future? You'll probably run away shyly with your pants before you even take them off, right? Big sister. Zhao Tianan only felt that at this moment, he really wanted to find a place to hide. Being teased by Zhao Ping like this, most people wouldn't be able to stand it. Ma Xiaofeng tugged at Zhao Ping's sleeve and said to Zhao Ping, Big sister Ping, I think you should stop talking. Tianan is thin-skinned and gets shy easily. Ma Xiaofeng's words sounded like she was defending Zhao Tianan and helping Zhao Tianan out of his predicament. So when Zhao Tianan heard this, he was very touched. Xiaofeng was still the best. She always thought of him first in everything she did. Unlike many people who didn't consider his feelings at all. He had a shy and dull personality, so he didn't stand out among many people. There were very few people who cared about him. The more Zhao Tianan thought about it, the more determined he was to be with Ma Xiaofeng. Only when he was with her did he feel that he was cared for. When Ma Xiaofeng said this, Zhao Ping chuckled and said, Okay. I won't talk about Tianan anymore, okay? Sigh, now that the two of you are wearing the same pants, you've learned to defend each other. As Zhao Ping said this, she turned to Zhao Tianan and said, Tianan, I finally called Xiaofeng over and created an opportunity for you. You should chat with Xiaofeng a little more and seize the opportunity. Zhao Tianan responded shyly and thanked Zhao Ping, while he was at it. Big sister, thank you. You're the only one in the family who supports me. When he thought of this, Zhao Tianan's heart ached. In fact, the person he liked and admired the most in the family was Zhao Yin'er. He didn't care about his own parents. But what Zhao Tianan wanted the most was Zhao Yin'er's consent. He hoped that Zhao Yin'er wouldn't object to him and Ma Xiaofeng being together. Unfortunately, in the end, except for his big sister, no one else agreed. He didn't know what to do. Just as he was lost in thought, Zhao Ping pushed Zhao Tianan and pushed Zhao Tianan in front of Ma Xiaofeng. At this time Mu Hin, who had finished delivering the water, was ready to go back. When Mu Hin passed by Zhao Yin'er's land, Zhao Ping saw him. When Zhao Ping saw Mu Hin, she was a little angry. Zhao Yin'er, that be *tch, didn't let her go to the town to help. Instead, she invited Mu Hin, an outsider, over. Zhao Ping blamed Mu Hin for not being able to go to the stall to help make money. If Mu Hin didn't go to help, Zhao Yin'er's stall would definitely not have enough manpower. When Zhao Yin'er was too busy, she would naturally regret firing her. Then, she would definitely ask her to go over to help again. Unexpectedly, Mu Hin suddenly jumped out. With Mu Hin's help, Zhao Yin'er didn't need her. When Mu Hin walked in front of Zhao Ping deliberately stretched out her foot. Mu Hin didn't notice and tripped. He couldn't help but fall forward. Chapter 838. Mu Hin let out a pitiful cry and fell to the ground. A large piece of the skin on her hand was scraped off. She knelt heavily on the ground and could not get up. After Mu Hin fell, she realized that someone had tripped her. She looked at Zhao Ping, with some resentment. She and Zhao Ping, had no grudge against each other. Why did Zhao Ping, trip her out of the blue? She looked up and met Zhao Ping's eyes. Zhao Ping had her hands on her hips and looked very arrogant. Why did you trip me out of the blue? Mu Hin suppressed the anger in her heart and asked Zhao Ping. Her legs hurt so much from the fall that she could not get up for a while. She was still in a kneeling position on the ground. Zhao Ping smirked proudly and said to Mu Hin, so what if I tripped you? What can you do to me? Mu Hin bit her lower lip and asked, how did I offend you? Zhao Ping laughed and said, you didn't offend me in any way. I just don't like the look of you. Besides the fact that Mu Hin's appearance prevented her from helping Zhao Yin'er earn money at her stall, Mu Hin's pitiful appearance and harmless little face made Zhao Ping a little jealous. Why was it that every random person was prettier than her? Zhao Ping now had a feeling of disgust towards good-looking people. She wished that all women were uglier than her. Unfortunately, Zhao Ping had not found many who were uglier than her. Thinking of this, Zhao Ping felt very stifled. Mu Hin glared angrily at Zhao Ping and said, you're too much. I'm going overboard. What can you do to me? Who asked you to be in cahoots with that little bitch Zhao Yun'er? You. Mu Hin had never seen someone as shameless as Zhao Ping. What kind of person was this? Wasn't this too unreasonable? She didn't offend her. So what right did she have to vent her anger on her for no reason? Now that they were in someone else's village, and Zhao Ping was Zhao Yin'er's older sister, how could she blame Zhao Ping? Could it be that she had deliberately quarreled with Zhao Ping? She couldn't do such a thing. Seeing that Mu Hin could only swallow her grievances, Zhao Ping could not help but boast. Humph, you'd better not let me see you in the future. Every time I see you, I'll bully you. Mu Hin bit her lower lip. This woman was too much. You're too much of a bully. Mu Hin jumped out of her mouth. Her voice was a little weak and did not have much momentum. Compared to Zhao Ping's arrogant and domineering attitude, it did not have any deterrence at all. Bully? Humph, I'll bully you, I'll bully you. Zhao Ping deliberately poked Mu Hin's forehead with her finger as she spoke. You, eldest sister. Zhao Tianen could not stand it anymore. Seeing that Mu Hin was really pitiful on the ground, he could not help but step forward and look at Zhao Ping. What's wrong? Zhao Ping casually replied. Second sister, forget it. I think she's quite pitiful, she didn't do anything, why are you bullying her? Seeing that Zhao Tianen was muttering this, Zhao Ping pursed her lips and said, I'm bullying her. Tianen, why are you defending her? You don't have to feel sorry for other women. You just have to feel sorry for Xiaofeng. Zhao Tianen sighed. He was not feeling sorry for her, but he felt that Mu Hin was really quite pitiful. Chapter 839. Big sis. Don't be so unreasonable, okay? I didn't offend you. Zhao Tianen couldn't help but say. Zhao Ping smirked and said to Zhao Tianen, Tianen, how dare you say I'm unreasonable? You're too heartless. Don't you know who usually helps you in Xiaofeng? As Zhao Ping spoke, she waited for Zhao Tianen. Zhao Tianen felt extremely wronged. Didn't he just tell the truth? How could he be associated with being heartless? He couldn't be considered heartless, right? Big sis, I know you've helped me a lot, but bullying others is a different thing. Zhao Tianen muttered in a low voice. He glanced at Mu Hin, who had yet to get up from the ground. He thought to himself that a girl like her must be in great pain from the fall. No matter what, it was wrong of his sister to bully others like this. Tianen, don't say any more. If I say you're heartless, then you're heartless. Zhao Ping didn't like it when others talked about what she did, especially when Zhao Tianen jumped out to accuse her of being in the wrong. Zhao Ping angrily pulled Ma Xiaofeng's hand and said to Zhao Tianen, I'm not going to talk to you, heartless person. Xiaofeng, let's go. With that, Zhao Ping pulled Ma Xiaofeng and turned to leave. Zhao Tianen stared blankly. What was his sister doing? Was she angry with him? However, Zhao Tianen felt that he didn't do anything wrong. All he did was say a few words when his sister was being unreasonable and bullying others. So what now? Ma Xiaofeng was pulled away by Zhao Ping. She looked at Zhao Tianen a little anxiously. Zhao Ping, this woman was crazy. Sigh. Zhao Tianan watched as Zhao Ping'er dragged Ma Xiaofeng far away. He could only sigh and shake his head. When would this big sister of his be a little more reasonable? Now that Ma Xiaofeng had left with Zhao Ping'er, he could only go back to work. Fortunately, he still had many opportunities to see Ma Xiaofeng. Otherwise, he would probably be anxious to death. Zhao Tianan glanced at Mu Hin, who was lying on the ground, with sympathy in his eyes. He walked over to Mu Hin and helped Mu Hin up from the ground. Are you all right? What do you think? Does it hurt a lot? Mu Hin did not know his own condition. The skin on his hand was torn when he placed it on the ground. There was even a thin layer of skin on his hand that was stained with blood. As for her legs, the pain in her knees was so intense that she could not stand up for a while. She could only continue to kneel on the ground. After Mu Hin stood up with great difficulty, she could not straighten her legs. Her whole body swayed. She bit her lower lip and endured the pain. She said to Zhao Tianan, "I'm fine." Zhao Tianan took a deep look at Mu Hin. She was clearly injured so badly, but she said that she was fine. He guessed that she did not want others to worry about her. Zhao Tianan felt that Zhao Ping'er was his sister, and that she came over because she brought Ma Xiaofeng to him. Zhao Ping'er bullied Mu Hin, so he had to take responsibility. He hurriedly supported Mu Hin and said, "How can you be fine? Look at your palm, it's broken and bleeding. Your clothes on your knees are also torn. The skin inside must have been torn. Why don't you pull up your pants and see how it is?" Zhao Tianan's tone was full of concern. When he got closer to Mu Hin, he smelled the faint fragrance on Mu Hin's body. It smelled very good, and it was somewhat similar to Ma Xiaofeng's. Chapter 840. He didn't expect that all women smelled so good. He thought that only Ma Xiaofeng smelled so good. While supporting Mu Hin, Zhao Tianan felt that the girl's body was soft and comfortable to touch. Mu Hin responded and let Zhao Tianan support her to sit on a big rock. Normally, she would be embarrassed to be so close to a boy. However, today was a special situation, so she didn't think too much about it. After sitting down, Mu Hin first looked at her palm. Such a large piece of skin was scraped off. It would be a long time before her palm touched water. In such a situation, it would be painful if it touched water. As for her knees, her clothes were already torn. Now that her knees were torn, she had to patch them up. Her pants were even uglier. Mu Hin sighed slightly in her heart. Why was she so unlucky? Why did Zhao Ping'er pick on her? What should she do if she continued to treat her like this in the future? Let's see how your leg is, Zhao Tianan said. He was worried about Mu Hin's condition. The more serious Mu Hin's injury was, the more overboard his sister was. As a younger brother, he should be more responsible. Mu Hin responded bitterly. In fact, a woman's leg couldn't be easily seen by a man. Men and women were different. Not to mention the leg, even the foot or the arm couldn't be exposed. Otherwise it would be immoral. Mu Hin rolled up his pants from his ankle to expose his knee. A large piece of his knee was scraped off and stained with blood. Some of the flesh inside was flipped out, and some stones were stuck on it. Zhao Tianan didn't expect Mu Hin to be injured so badly. No wonder he couldn't get up and walk steadily. It must be painful to be injured like this. Well, Zhao Tianan sighed, then apologized to Mu Hin. I'm sorry. I apologize to you on behalf of my sister. She crossed the line. Mu Hin looked at the boy's apologetic eyes and shook his head. It's none of your business. It was Zhao Ping'er who did it. She couldn't vent her anger on Zhao Tianan. Even if Zhao Tianan apologized for Zhao Ping'er, she still wouldn't forgive Zhao Ping'er. No one would be so magnanimous to forgive others so easily after being bullied for nothing. You rest first. I'll go and find some herbs for you. Apply the herbal concoction, and you should feel much better. Zhao Tianan remembered that he had seen the herbal medicine Zhao Yuner had made at the foot of the mountain. It should be easier to find it. You don't have to go through so much trouble. Mu Hin seemed a little embarrassed. It's no trouble at all. I'll be back soon. Sit down and wait for me for a while, Zhao Tianan said to Mu Hin. Before Mu Hin could say anything, Zhao Tianan ran away. Looking at Zhao Tianan's back, Mu Hin had a strange feeling in her heart. It was the first time that someone cared about her like this. Although it was because Zhao Ping'er bullied her first, Zhao Tianan cared about her after all. After a while, Zhao Tianan came back with the herbs. There was a layer of sweat on his forehead, probably because he ran too fast. Chapter 841. Zhao Tianan squeezed out the juice from the herbs, then applied it on Mu Hin's knees. After the medicine was applied, there was a burning pain at first, but later, the pain became much better. The effect of the medicine was quite good. Mu Xian lowered her head and looked at Zhao Tianan. She found that Zhao Tianan was very serious when he applied the medicine. At the same time, he was very careful. He was afraid of hurting Mu Xian. Looking at Zhao Tianan's serious face, Mu Hin was a little absent-minded for a moment. After Zhao Tianan finished applying the medicine, he raised his head and met Mu Hin's eyes. The two looked at each other, and both of them seemed a little embarrassed. Zhao Tianan was shy and didn't want to have contact with girls. Now that Mu Hin was staring at him like this, his ears suddenly turned red. "Well, it's done," Zhao Tianan said weakly. Mu Hin came back to his senses, and his cheeks were also dyed with a layer of red. "Well, thank you," Mu Hin said weakly. "It's nothing." Zhao Tianan shook his head. Mu Hin pulled down his pants. When he was about to stand up and go back, Zhao Tianan also stood up. I'll walk you back." Mu Hin's condition was really worrying. What if Mu Hin accidentally fell down when he walked back? "Will it be too much trouble for you?" Mu Hin asked nervously. "It's okay. I'm not busy actually," Zhao Tianan replied. "Well, thank you anyway." "You're welcome." Zhao Tianan shook his head. After all, it was all because of Zhao Ping'er. If Zhao Ping'er hadn't pushed him down, Mu Hin wouldn't have been like this. "Let's go," Zhao Tianan said and helped Mu Hin. Mu Hin walked unsteadily. After all, he had fallen down so hard. "Be careful. Slow down." "Don't worry," Zhao Tianan said with concern. "Okay," Mu Hin answered bitterly. Zhao Tianan's concerned voice warmed Mu Hin's heart. No boy had ever talked to her like this before. His heart was filled with nervousness and a trace of excitement. On the way, Zhao Tianan asked and found out that Mu Hin was Mu Lan's younger sister. Zhao Tianan knew that Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lan were close friends, so he was more concerned about Mu Hin. On the way back, Ma Xiaofeng finally got rid of Zhao Ping'er. When she was about to talk to Zhao Tianan and continue to cultivate their relationship, she saw Zhao Tianan supporting a girl intimately. This girl was the one who had been pushed down by Zhao Ping'er. "Tianan, you." Ma Xiaofeng was a little angry and jealous. She looked at Mu Hin, who was beside Zhao Tianan. Except for her, how could he be so intimate and flirtatious with other girls? "Xiaofeng, Zhao Tianan didn't expect that Ma Xiaofeng would suddenly come back. At this time, he and Mu Hin were indeed flirtatious, which made people misunderstand. When he was about to explain, Ma Xiaofeng glared at Zhao Tianan and said to Zhao Tianan, "You've gone too far. I won't talk to you anymore." After that, Ma Xiaofeng ran away. Seeing Ma Xiaofeng run away because of the misunderstanding, Zhao Tianan was very anxious. When he wanted to chase after Ma Xiaofeng to explain, Mu Hin fell to the ground uncontrollably as soon as he let go of Mu Hin. Zhao Tianan hurriedly pulled Mu Hin. If he didn't support Mu Hin, she would fall. He couldn't let Mu Hin go like this. Chapter 842. Zhao Tianan hesitated for a while, but finally decided to help Mu Hin. After all, Mu Hin was injured because of Zhao Ping'er. Moreover, Ma Xiaofeng should be angry right now. Ma Xiaofeng might not be able to listen to what he said. It was better to wait for Ma Xiaofeng's anger to subside before he explained to her. Mu Hin saw the disappointment in Zhao Tianan's eyes and Ma Xiaofeng's reaction. She knew that the two of them were like a couple who had quarreled. After realizing that Zhao Tianan liked Ma Xiaofeng, Mu Hin felt a little disappointed. She didn't know why she felt like this. "Why don't you not send me home? Do you want to explain?" Mu Hin asked cautiously. Zhao Tianan glanced at Mu Hin and smiled bitterly. "It's okay. I'll send you home first." Mu Hin sighed slightly and replied, "Okay then." Because Zhao Tianan helped her, Ma Xiaofeng misunderstood. Mu Hin felt a little guilty. She didn't want Zhao Tianan to be upset because of her mood. Zhao Tianan insisted on not explaining to Ma Xiaofeng. As an outsider, she didn't want to say anything. "Let's go," Zhao Tianan said. When he sent Muhin home, he was deep in thought. No one knew what he was thinking. Seeing Zhao Tianan like this, Muhin felt very uncomfortable and didn't know what to say to comfort him. When they arrived at family Zhu's courtyard, Muhin said to Zhao Tianan gratefully, "Thank you for sending me home." The young girl's voice was pleasing to the ear, like a clear spring flowing through one's heart, making one feel very comfortable. Zhao Tianan raised his head and looked at Muhin's delicate face. "You're welcome." She then turned around nervously and said, I'm leaving now." Muhin responded with a smile. Seeing Zhao Tianan's back as he hurriedly fled, a trace of melancholy crossed his heart. She stared blankly for a while, then turned around and prepared to return to Mulan's room. After she left, Mulan went to Zhao Yun'er's house. At this time, she was not at the family room. As soon as she turned around, she saw a figure suddenly appear in front of her, sticking very close to her from behind. Muhin took a step back in fear. The person who stuck close to her and looked at her cheekily was Zhu Sanlu. A look of disgust flashed across Muhin's eyes. He felt like vomiting when he saw Zhu Sanlu. Why was this man standing behind her for no reason? It was fine if Muhin did not step back, but because her leg was injured, she could not stand steadily and almost fell down again. "Ah!" Muhin screamed. Zhu Sanlu hurriedly pulled Muhin, and Muhin steadied herself. Hee, Sister Muhin, are you okay? Be careful, don't be too anxious. Don't you think so?" As Zhu Sanlu spoke, he deliberately reached out his other hand and touched the back of Muhin's hand. He smiled wretchedly and said, "Ah, Sister Muhin, your hand is so soft, smooth and tender." Muhin frowned deeper and hurriedly tried to withdraw her hand. But Zhu Sanlu's strength was stronger than hers. Muhin could not pull her hand out of Zhu Sanlu's hand. You let go of me." Muhin bit her lower lip and said to Zhu Sanlu angrily. There was a look of grievance and disgust between her eyebrows. Chapter 843. You're shameless. Muhin's face was red with anger. However, in Zhu Sanlu's eyes, Muhin's angry and shy look was exceptionally cute. "Sister Muhin, how can you say that? How am I shameless? I'm just concerned about you. Do you know that?" Zhu Sanlu still said with a lewd smile. I don't need your concern. Let me go." Muhin glared at Zhu Sanlu and said angrily. However, she had already tried her best to lower her voice. There was no one else in the yard except Zhu Sanlu. Her older sister had left and was not at home. No one came to help her. Mrs. Zhu and family Zhu's family were all resting in their own rooms. It was precisely because of this that Zhu Sanlu was not afraid of his own actions. Once Muhin's voice was too loud, it would definitely attract the attention of the other members of family Zhu. Seeing Muhin struggling in front of him, and the disgust in Muhin's eyes, Zhu Sanlu was not in a good mood. Men had their own self-esteem, and hoped that women would succumb to them. In addition, Zhu Sanlu's lower part could not be used anymore. Zhu Sanlu's heart was already a little twisted and perverted. He stared coldly at Muhin. Then a cold smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He said to Muhin, "All right, stop pretending in front of me. Don't pretend to be pure. Since you're so chaste, why did you get so close to another man just now? I saw it all." The other man Zhu Sanlu was talking about was Zhao Tianan. Muhin's face darkened. She said to Zhu Sanlu angrily, "That's because I was injured, so he sent me back. Don't make it sound too dirty." How could Zhu Sanlu listen to Muhin's explanation? He laughed mockingly again. "Haha, since you're injured, let me help you. Don't refuse." Saying that, Zhu Sanlu shamelessly moved closer to Muhin and directly held Muhin in his arms. Go away, you pervert!" Muhin screamed. She had never been hugged by a man in her life. In her eyes, Zhu Sanlu's behavior was no different from a hooligan. Zhu Sanlu did not let her go. Instead, he said sarcastically, "What? Others can do this, but I can't? In the end, you're different people. Little sister Mu Xian. I'm not worse than that brat Zhao Tianan. He can't even read a word. I'm still a scholar." How could Mu Xian care whether Zhu Sanlu's conditions were good or bad? Even if he was the emperor, she would not like such a wretched and perverted person. "I don't like you. Stay away from me. Don't hug me. or I'll call for help. Muhin warned. Call for help? Haha, aren't you afraid of being seen? Your sister and brother-in-law are not here. Who can help you? Muhin bit her lower lip. She knew that Zhu Sanlu was telling the truth. They were all family Zhu's people. If she called for the family Zhu's people, the family Zhu would only help Zhu Sanlu and not her. If they disturbed the neighbors, and they came out to see such a scene, there might be some misunderstanding. If rumors about her spread, it would be even worse. After Muhin stopped making noise, Zhu Sanlu smirked proudly. He was moved to tears by his own wit. Chapter 844. When Zhu Sanlu was feeling proud of himself, he heard Muhin sobbing in a low voice. What do I have to do to make you let me go? She was powerless to resist, but she didn't want to be bullied and trampled on like this. At this moment, she only felt extremely wronged. Ah, Muhin, how can you say that? How can I let you go? Zhu Sanlu said and pinched Muhin's butt. It felt very soft, and he was secretly satisfied. Ah! Muhin screamed again without warning. She didn't expect Zhu Sanlu to be so shameless. She gave him an inch, and he wanted a mile. It was too much. The noise made by the two of them alarmed the family Zhu's people. Mulan's children also heard the noise outside the house, and they all craned their heads to look outside. After seeing Zhu Sanlu, Hua was so scared that she hurriedly shrank back. She was already traumatized by Zhu Sanlu, so she didn't dare to go out and get close to Zhu Sanlu. Mulan's eldest daughter, Hua, also didn't dare to move. She knew that her uncle was very scary and could eat people. Otherwise, Hua wouldn't be so scared. Previously, her mother had warned her to keep a distance from her uncle and not to get close to him. She had kept her mother's words in mind. Only San rushed out alone. He was a man, and he had to protect his aunt. He couldn't let his uncle bully her. San came to Zhu Sanlu angrily and shouted at Zhu Sanlu. Uncle, hurry up and let go of my aunt. Zhu Sanlu glanced at the angry San He was just a little kid, so he wouldn't take him seriously. You won't let go of your aunt, so what? How dare you talk to your uncle like that? Don't you know how to respect your elders? What did your parents teach you? You don't know any etiquette at all. San little eyebrows twisted together. Her little face was full of anger as she stared at Zhu Sanlu. His uncle was too much. He bullied his aunt, and was still so arrogant. Wasn't it just because his parents weren't at home? San eyes suddenly became sharp. Since this was the case, then don't blame him for being impolite. He had to protect his aunt. San took out a slingshot from her pocket, grabbed a stone, and shot it at Zhu Sanlu's face. The stone was hard, and the force of the slingshot was very strong. So when the stone hit Zhu Sanlu's face, Zhu Sanlu screamed in pain. Ah, Zhu Sanlu touched his face. Fortunately, it wasn't bleeding. Otherwise, what if it left a scar? Zhu Sanlu looked at San and let go of Muhin. He was ready to teach San a lesson. This little bastard actually dared to make a move on him. He was really courting death. Seeing that Zhu Sanlu was about to attack San Muhin suddenly became anxious and quickly pulled Zhu Sanlu back. Don't lay your hands on a child. That's too much. Zhu Sanlu coldly snorted. What's wrong? What's wrong with me teaching my nephew a lesson? This little bastard dared to lay his hands on his elders. How can I not teach him a lesson? With that, Zhu Sanlu's cold eyes stared at San again. This little bastard. If his parents don't teach him a lesson, I'll come here to teach him a lesson. Otherwise, he won't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Muhin was speechless for a while. What kind of person was this? Chapter 845. Moreover, even if San had no reason to fight, he was just a child. How could he be so calculative towards a child? It was really enough. Let San go. Children are not sensible. Muhin pulled Zhu Sanlu and said. If Zhu Sanlu really started to fight, he was an adult. It was more than enough to deal with a child. What if San was hurt by Zhu Sanlu? So what if he's not sensible? This kid almost ruined my face. If I don't teach this stinky kid a lesson, he won't know how arrogant he is. Humph. Zhu Sanlu meant that he didn't intend to let San go easily. Muhin could only worry in her heart. What should she do? She was afraid that Zhu Sanlu, this pervert, would be very ruthless when he hit people. What if San-er was hurt by Zhu Sanlu? San-er was also a stubborn child. Seeing that Zhu Sanlu was going to hit him, he wasn't afraid at all. He raised his angry little face and said to Zhu Sanlu, "I'm not afraid of you." Zhu Sanlu was even more angry. "Well, I want to see how you can be so rampant." After that, Zhu Sanlu picked up a wooden stick from the side and was ready to beat San-er. Before the stick in his hand fell on San-er's body, San-er had already taken out a stone from her pocket. She raised her slingshot and continued to shoot at Zhu Sanlu's face. This time, Zhu Sanlu was in so much pain that he gritted his teeth. "You kid, you're really overturning the sky." Zhu Sanlu's eyes were burning with a raging fire. San-er had completely angered Zhu Sanlu this time. If he didn't teach San-er a lesson, Zhu Sanlu wouldn't be able to swallow the anger in his heart. Mu-hin knew that Zhu Sanlu would definitely hit hard. She hurriedly said to San-er, "San-er, run and find your father." San-er's little brows were still knitted together. He could run away, but his uncle would definitely bully his aunt, so he couldn't leave. "Aunt, it's okay. I'm not afraid of him. If he dares to hit me again, I'll continue to hit him with the slingshot." Humph. Mu-hin's heart was still tense. If Zhu Sanlu rushed over and snatched the slingshot from San-er's hand, how would San-er deal with Zhu Sanlu? He was no match for Zhu Sanlu. Unfortunately, San-er was very stubborn. Mu-hin found that he couldn't persuade her at all. "Overturn the heavens, overturn the heavens!" Zhu Sanlu muttered angrily. San-er continued to aim at Zhu Sanlu with the slingshot. There was a feeling of mutual hostility between the two of them. After Zhu Sanlu took a step, the slingshot in San-er's hand directly shot out. This time, it hit Zhu Sanlu's knee. "Ah!" Zhu Sanlu screamed. He was actually bullied by a child. How shameful. Mrs. Zhu and family Zhu's family all came out. Seeing San-er holding the slingshot in her hand and pointing it at Zhu Sanlu cried out in pain. 2 red marks were left on his face. Old Madame Zhu suddenly got angry and said to San-er, "Little beast, your father and mother really spoiled you. You even dared to hit your uncle. When your father comes back, I'll ask him to break your legs." As Mrs. Zhu spoke, she went to Zhu Sanlu and looked at Zhu Sanlu with great distress. She asked Zhu Sanlu with concern, "Lu, how are you? Are you okay? Does it hurt? Mother will blow for you." Chapter 846. Her blow made Zhu Sanlu feel disgusted. Zhu Sanlu felt nauseous and said to Mrs. Zhu angrily, "Mom, what are you doing? It stinks. Don't blow on me. It stinks. I'm about to throw up because of you." Zhu Sanlu complained like this. Old Madame Zhu showed a trace of embarrassment. She said to Zhu Sanlu with some embarrassment, "Lu, I'm just concerned about you. Your face looks badly injured, so I'll blow on it to make you feel better." Zhu Sanlu glanced at Mrs. Zhu with disgust. "Mom, how can I feel better? I'm about to throw up because of you." "Well," Mrs. Zhu twitched the corner of her mouth awkwardly. Was the smell in her mouth that bad? Mrs. Zhu covered her mouth with her hand and blew on it. She smelled it, and it was indeed a little smelly. Alas, it seemed that she had to brush her teeth properly. She hadn't brushed her teeth for several days. It was not that she didn't want to brush her teeth, but she had to pick willow branches to brush her teeth. In addition, brushing her teeth required salt. She couldn't bear to use so much salt. After all, salt was expensive. "Mom, next time keep your mouth away from mine." "Really?" Zhu Sanlu complained. Zhu Laotian hurriedly responded, Yes, I know." "Okay." Zhu Sanlu responded faintly, "It's all that little bastard's fault. He hit you." Mrs. Zhu turned her eyes to San-er again. Mrs. Zhu had always been fierce to her grandchildren, so the children in the family were very afraid of Mrs. Zhu. Facing Mrs. Zhu's murderous eyes, San-er was a little scared. After her legs trembled, San-er gathered her courage and said to Mrs. Zhu, "Grandma, it's not wrong that I hit my uncle. He bullied my aunt." "Well, little bastard, you dare to talk back? You're quite arrogant. It seems that your parents didn't teach you well. Grandma, you can't be unreasonable. How can my uncle bully my aunt? My uncle bullied my aunt, so he deserved a beating. Even if my parents come back, they won't say that I'm wrong." Sanair pouted and said angrily. She really couldn't hold back the grievance in her heart. When did your uncle bully your aunt? Ha! You little bastard, explain it to me clearly. Old Madame Zhu asked angrily. Uncle insisted on hugging my aunt. He touched my auntie, Sanair replied. Although he was a child, he knew a lot of things. If a man hugged a woman like that, if the woman didn't want to, it would be bullying her. Mrs. Zhu was stunned, and her gaze fell on Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Sanlu curled his lips and said aggrievedly, Mother, don't believe what this brat said. I didn't. It was Mu Hin who seduced me and pulled me. When did I touch her? Mrs. Zhu had a look of understanding. She naturally believed her own son. How could she believe a child's words? Mrs. Zhu snorted coldly, and her sharp eyes fell on Mu Hin. She sneered at Mu Hin. It must be you, little bastard, who wanted to seduce our Lu. Don't you know who you are? Do you think you're good enough for our Lu, Our Lu is a scholar. In the future, he will become an official and marry a lady from a big family. Chapter 847. You've gone too far. Mu Hin pointed at Zhu Sanlu. You're the one who kept pestering me. How could you say such shameless words? The more Mu Hin thought about it, the angrier she got. Wasn't this tarnishing her reputation? She was fine with that. But the main point was that Mrs. Zhu even humiliated her like that. How could she be human? She was simply a rogue. She originally didn't want to provoke the family Zhu, but unfortunately, the family Zhu still stuck to her like a dog's skin plaster. Mrs. Zhu put her hands on her waist, raised her head, and said to Mu Hin, Why would my son pester you? You should have some self-awareness, okay? Don't you know how beautiful you are? At such a young age, instead of learning the good things, you've learned how to lie and seduce people. Mrs. Zhu's words became more and more unpleasant, like a needle deeply piercing into Mu Hin's heart. Mu Hin lowered her head, suppressed the anger and unwillingness in her heart, and bit her lower lip hard. At this moment, she only felt very helpless. Zhu Dania looked at Mu Hin's thin and weak back, trembling. Her aggrieved look made his heart ache, and he also felt that Mu Hin was very pitiful. Therefore, he stood up and said to Mrs. Zhu, Mother, I think it must be third brother who bullied the girl. When old Madame Zhu heard Zhu Dania's defense, she couldn't help but glare at Zhu Daniu. She reprimanded, You child, why don't you speak up for your own family and defend outsiders? Mother, I'm not defending an outsider. What I said is the truth. Don't you know what kind of person third brother is? Zhu Daniu had just finished speaking when Zhu Sanlu said very unhappily, Brother, what do you mean? What do you mean by don't you know what kind of person I am? Tell me, what kind of person am I? Zhu Daniu snorted and said without any trace of politeness, Haha, third brother. Do you still need me to say it clearly? How many bad things have you done? You hit Hua before, and then you pooped with your sister-in-law. You're an animal. After Zhu Daniu finished speaking, Zhu Sanlu was so angry that he almost jumped up. His big brother was too much. Mrs. Zhu was also unhappy. She frowned and said, Daniu, how can you say that about your brother? What kind of brother are you? Mother, you see, I'm telling the truth, but you don't like to hear it. Outsiders might not know what kind of person third brother is. But how could our family not know? This time, he must have made a move on Mu Hin's little sister. He even said that Mu Hin's little sister was pestering him. Mother, you're the only one who treats third younger brother like a treasure. With third younger brother's appearance, not to mention younger sister Mu Hin who's so delicate, he wouldn't even be interested in ordinary women, right? After all, he's missing something now, and he's not an ordinary man. Hearing Zhu Dania's words, Mrs. Zhu and Zhu Sanlu's faces turned red. If they weren't afraid of Zhu Daniu, and didn't dare to hit Zhu Daniu, they probably would have rushed over and fought with Zhu Daniu. You little brat, stop talking. If you tell others, how can your third brother face others in the future? How can he get married in the future? Mrs. Zhu said angrily. Zhu Daniu wasn't worried about Zhu Sanlu at all. Mother, I didn't say anything. Now I just want to persuade third younger brother to stop bullying and making trouble. Mu Hin is third younger brother's little sister. If third younger brother knows that third younger brother bullied his little sister like this, I think he'll beat third younger brother to death and tell others about third younger brother's embarrassing things. Chapter 848. They knew what kind of person Ju Eru was. If they angered Ju Eru, the consequences would probably be worse than what Ju Daeniu had said. Mrs. Ju's lips trembled, and she said to Ju Daeniu, "Sai, what should we do? We can't let Eru know about this." She thought about how Ju Eru had killed Ju Sanlu last time, and directly made Ju Sanlu impotent. If he did it again this time, he was afraid that he would lose his life. Ju Sanlu immediately gave up. He frowned and asked Mrs. Ju, "Mom, what should I do? What if Eru hits me?" Mrs. Ju comforted him. "It's okay, don't worry." After Mrs. Ju comforted Ju Sanlu, she said to Ju Daeniu, "Daeniu, don't tell anyone about this. Eru can't know about it. Eru doesn't know how to control his strength." Ju Daeniu only felt that it was funny. Was it okay if he didn't say anything? Mu Xian wasn't a fool. Her mouth was on her body. If she wanted to say something, who could stop her? Before Ju Daeniu could say anything, San Er shouted at Mrs. Ju, I'll go tell my father. He'll say that my uncle bullied my aunt." Old Lady Ju glared at San Er with hatred. "You little bastard." San Er said and ran away. Mrs. Ju couldn't catch up with her. Sigh. Mrs. Ju sighed. If Ju Eru came back, what should she do? She couldn't let anything happen to Luer. "Mom, what should we do? What should we do?" Ju Sanlu asked anxiously. Mrs. Ju shook her head. She didn't know either. Ju Daeniu found it funny and sneered at Ju Sanlu. "Third brother, you are quite timid at this time. Why didn't you think that second brother would do it before?" Mrs. Ju glared at Ju Daeniu. "What are you saying now? Hurry up and think of a solution for your brother." "Mother, what can we do? It's better to let third brother hide quickly. It's fine as long as second brother doesn't catch him." Mrs. Ju nodded. Yes. Hurry up and hide." With that, Mrs. Ju called out to Ju Sanlu. "Luer, hurry up and hide." Ju Sanlu was so scared that his chrysanthemum tightened. He quickly ran away and hid in some corner. Mrs. Ju didn't dare to provoke Mu Hin anymore, so she returned to her room. After the two weirdos left, Mu Hin heaved a heavy sigh and finally stopped tormenting her. It was all thanks to Ju Daeniu that she was able to get away, and third brother didn't get beaten. Therefore, Mu Hin looked at Ju Daeniu gratefully. "Thank you." The young girl's clear voice sounded. Ju Daeniu saw Mu Hin smiling at him. The smile on her face was like a daisy, very beautiful. Coupled with Mu Hin's pleasant voice, Ju Daeniu suddenly felt his heart ripple, and his whole body became light. Ju Daeniu was stunned for a while. Then he quickly shook his head at Mu Hin and said, It's nothing. You don't have to be so polite. But if it weren't for you, third brother and I would definitely." Ju Daeniu looked at Mu Hin with pity. "It's fine now. My mother and third brother definitely won't dare to bully you in the future. If they bully you, just tell me. I will go and teach them a lesson." "Okay," Mu Hin answered timidly, showing the shyness of a little girl. Chapter 849. Mu Hin nodded, then shook her head. "Then I'll go in." Mu Hin limped into Mulan's room. Ju Dainiu's gaze fell on Mu Hin, and he could not retract it for a long time. The young lady was still prettier. She was just more moving than his wife. Madame Chi watched from the side. She saw the interaction between Ju Daeniu and Mu Hin, as well as Ju Dainiu's reaction. When she saw Ju Daeniu staring at Mu Xian, that look of reluctance and longing, it was as if he wanted to stick to her body. Madame Chi guessed that Ju Daeniu was most likely attracted to Mu Hin. Men were all the same. They all liked young and beautiful women. Madame Chi's heart was filled with jealousy. She looked at Ju Daeniu with a resentful expression and said, "Daeniu, she's already gone into the room. Why are you still looking at her? You've been seduced by that little vixen, haven't you?" Madame Chi's words made Ju Dainiu's face heat up. It was as if his thoughts had been seen through. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Ju Daeniu reprimanded Madame Chi with a sullen face. Madame Chi pursed her lips indignantly. "If I'm not wrong, look at that little vixen's eyes. It's as if she wants to eat her up. Daeniu, tell me honestly, have you taken a liking to that little vixen?" I've never seen you meddle in other people's business before. Now you're actually helping others. You stinking woman. If you continue to talk nonsense, do you believe that I'll teach you a lesson? I haven't hit you for a while. And you're itching for a beating? Zhu Dainyu reprimanded her, and his gaze suddenly became sharp. Seeing that Zhu Dainyu was angry, Madame Qi was so frightened that she quickly shut her mouth. She did not dare to say anything else. Mu Hin is second brother's wife's younger sister. She's considered our relative. If I can help her, I'll help her. What's the big deal? Zhu Dainyu added another sentence, as if he was trying to defend himself. Madame Qi didn't believe Zhu Dainyu's nonsense, but she didn't dare to refute. If she angered Zhu Dainyu, he would definitely punish her. However, Madame Qi was extremely jealous of Mu Hin. She actually dared to seduce her man. She would definitely teach her a lesson later. Zhao Yun'er tidied up the house. In the afternoon, Zhao Yun'er's aunt Feng Zhangxia came over. As soon as they arrived at Zhao Yun'er's home, Feng Zhangxia enthusiastically approached Zhao Yun'er. She warmed Zhao Yun'er up, and even brought a lot of vegetables over. As the saying goes, one who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. Her great-aunt must have come for something. Zhao Yun'er raised her eyebrows and asked Feng Zhangxia, "Aunt, what can I do for you?" Feng Zhangxia gave a fake smile and said, Yun'er girl, what are you saying? Can't first aunt stay here and chat with you and have a chat? Zhao Yun'er sneered in her heart, but she forced a smile on her face and said, "Of course not. Aunt, you can come over if you want to. However, I thought that normally people would only think of coming here when they need help." After Zhao Yun'er said that, Feng Zhangxia felt very embarrassed. Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly. "Yes, I shouldn't do that. If I don't need your help, I should visit you more often. I know that. It's just that I don't have much time on weekdays." After saying that, Feng Zhangxia observed Zhao Yun'er's expression to see how Zhao Yun'er would react. Chapter 850. Feng Zhangxia's face darkened. After Zhao Yun'er said that, she couldn't say what she had prepared. After hesitating for a while, she finally said to Zhao Yun'er, "Hey Yun'er, I do have something I need your help with." "Oh, you're here to ask for my help? I was wondering why Auntie had so much free time to come to my house to see me." Zhao Yun'er looked at Feng Zhangxia with a smile, which made Feng Zhangxia very uncomfortable. Feng Zhangxia wasn't stupid. She naturally knew that Zhao Yun'er was mocking her. If it was in the past, she could completely ignore her and leave after scolding her. But now that she had a favor to ask, what could she do? She controlled her temper and still looked at Zhao Yun'er with a smile. "Hey Yun'er, I don't have a choice. If I can avoid troubling you, who would want to bother you?" Zhao Yun'er sneered, thinking that Feng Zhangxia was really lying. Li Chuiying was the kind of person who was shameless in public, while Feng Zhangxia was shameless in private. She was more scheming than Li Chuiying. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er didn't say anything, Feng Zhangxia continued shamelessly, "Yun'er, actually, I just want to ask you for a favor." "What is it?" "Your second cousin brother is going to have a blind date tomorrow, and he's chosen a girl. I've already told them that the girl will go to Yang City the day after tomorrow to eat at your breakfast stall. Can you bring your second cousin brother along when you go to Yang City the day after tomorrow and entertain them? You know that if you invite them to our house, the girl will be too embarrassed to come, and your grandmother will definitely be reluctant to entertain them. I heard that the girl's family is very rich. If the person we entertain isn't satisfied, what if this marriage is called off?" Feng Zhangxia said a lot, as if she was acting pitiful. Zhao Yun'er only felt that it was very funny. Sure enough, this was what an ordinary person would say. However, when it came to her second cousin's marriage, Zhao Yun'er became concerned about it. Zhao Tianhu treated their family well. Zhao Yun'er would help him if she could. However, Zhao Yun'er didn't want Feng Zhangxia to take advantage of her. It would make her think that she was easy to talk to. Zhao Yun'er sneered and said, "Aunt, it's not that I don't want to help my second cousin brother, but when the time comes to entertain them, do you have to pay for their breakfast?" When Feng Zhangxia heard Zhao Yun'er's words, she didn't expect Zhao Yun'er to be so calculative. Feng Zhangxia smiled embarrassedly and said, "Yun'er, your breakfast shouldn't cost much, right? How much can a few people eat? Just help them." Alas, We haven't separated from the family, and the money is in your grandmother's hands. Even if your aunt wants to give you money, she can't. The corners of Zhao Yiner's mouth curled up for a moment. Her aunt's excuse was not bad. Aunt, you can't say that. The breakfast I make and sell are all good things. If a few people eat casually, it will be dozens of copper coins. I can help you, but I have to calculate the accounts clearly. After all, it's not easy to run a business, and it's hard to make money. Aunt, you can discuss it with Grandma first, and take out the money. If Grandma really doesn't want to give it to me, I'll keep this money and wait for you to separate from the family. When you have money, you can give it to me. After Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, there was a faint smile at the corner of her mouth. Chapter 851. Zhao Yun'er was harder to deal with than she had imagined. Well, Zhao Yun'er smiled and asked, Aunt, it's not too much to ask, is it? Feng Zhengxia smiled embarrassedly. She thought that if she were to discuss with Hua Chunhua's calculative character, it would be strange if she was willing to take out money. If they separated from the family, well, it was fine. Her Tianlong was so promising that he would definitely be able to pass the imperial exam this year. At that time, she wouldn't be able to take out as much money as she wanted. She didn't care about dozens of copper coins at all. Therefore, she nodded with a smile. It's not too much. Yun'er, please help me with your second cousin's business. Zhao Yun'er smiled. It's fine. After that, Feng Zhengxia didn't stay at Zhao Yun'er's place for too long before she went back home. Zhao Yun'er went to the third branch after she was done with the family business. These days, because there were people coming over to help with the work, Zhao Yun'er had to go to the third branch to help cook, so that the men who were working could eat to their heart's content, so that they could work harder. When they were cooking, Zhao Yun'er chatted with Liang Jinxiao. Yun'er, your aunt asked someone to send a message. She said that she will come to our house tomorrow, Liang Jinxiao said. Because Zhao Ping's marriage was closer, they had to send money as a gift before Zhao Ping's wedding. It would be very late if her aunt came tomorrow. However, it was understandable. After all, they didn't live in the same village. It was the busy time of farming now, so it wasn't easy for her to find time. Hearing that her aunt was coming, Zhao Yun'er frowned at first. She didn't like it in her heart. With her uncles, aunts, Zhao Yun'er was afraid of Liang Jinxiao's relatives. What if it was another relative coming over? She didn't want to entertain those weird and annoying relatives. There was very little information about her little aunt in the original owner's memories, so Zhao Yun'er couldn't judge whether this little aunt was strange or not. Let's do it, Zhao Yun'er said. No matter how strange the person was with her around, he didn't believe that they could bully his family. Yun'er, don't worry. Your aunt is a nice person, Liang Jinxiao said with a smile. Seeing Zhao Yun'er's expression, Liang Jinxiao had already guessed what Zhao Yun'er was thinking. Really? Zhao Yun'er couldn't believe it. You'll know when you see him. Okay. Hearing Liang Jinxiao's words, Zhao Yun'er became expectant. The two of them chatted about other things as they cooked. After dinner, Zhao Yun'er packed up the food she had left for Mu Lianfeng, before sending it to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng began to get busy again in the past 2 days. From Mu Lianfeng's conversation with Mo Yan, Zhao Yun'er learnt that it was about making weapons. Zhao Yun'er did not know much about ancient weapons, so she could not help Mu Lianfeng. The only thing she could do was make some delicious food behind him, and send it to him. Knowing that Mo Yan was working with Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yun'er prepared an extra portion for Mo Yan to eat. Mother, do you want Dauda to go with you? Dauda tugged at the corner of Zhao Yun'er's clothes considerately as he asked softly. No need. I can do it alone. You stay at home and have a good rest, okay? Zhao Yun'er touched Dauda's little face and said gently, All right. Dauda seemed a little disappointed. What's wrong, Daudu? Are you unhappy? Chapter 852. Dauda's pitiful little face really made people feel sorry for him. Zhao Yun'er nodded heavily and replied, Okay, I know. I'll tell your father what Dauda said. Okay. Zhao Yun'er carried the food up the mountain. When she entered Mu Lianfeng's tent, Mu Lianfeng and Mo Yan were talking so seriously that they didn't notice Zhao Yun'er's arrival. Seeing them discussing work, Zhao Yun'er didn't have the heart to disturb them. Mu Lianfeng didn't realize it until he smelled a familiar scent. He raised his head and looked in the direction of Zhao Yun. Yun'er, why are you here? When did you come? Why don't you guess? Well, I thought you wouldn't notice. I didn't expect you to only realize it now, Zhao Yun'er said and sighed in disappointment. She continued. Mu Lianfeng, it seems like Mo Yin is much more attractive than me. Did you have a good time chatting with him? After Zhao Yun'er said that, Mo Yan's anus tightened. Oh my god, was Madame jealous of him? No way. Please don't. There was nothing between him and his master. There was nothing at all. If Zhao Yun'er really misunderstood, Mu Lianfeng would definitely find fault with him later. Unsurprisingly, after Zhao Yun'er said that, Mu Lianfeng's cold eyes shot towards Mo Yin. Mo Yin only felt very wronged. Why was she always the one who was hurt? Why? Why didn't you remind Madame when she came? Mu Lianfeng asked coldly. Mo Yin said with a bitter face, Master, I'm the same as you. I didn't see it either. When she met Mu Lianfeng's cold eyes, she looked away in fear. Zhao Yun'er had no idea how to react when she saw Mo Yin being bullied by Mu Lianfeng. This was the first time he had seen such a bad master. Zhao Yun'er watched on, so she came to Mo Yan's rescue. Alright, stop talking. Let's eat. If we wait any longer, the food will really turn cold. Mo Yin was rather eager, but she still held back. She wanted to see what Mu Lianfeng had to say first. Only when Mu Lianfeng said it was ready did she dare to go over. Hearing Zhao Yun'er's greeting, he knew that Zhao Yun'er was not angry with him. Mu Lianfeng also smiled and said, Well, I know Yun'er. Thank you for bringing us the food. Zhao Yun'er said, It's no trouble at all. Mo Yin also came over eagerly and said to Zhao Yun'er, Madam, you're still the most considerate. You're nicer to people. You're not like my master at all. He's so heartless. As Zhao Yun'er said, she glanced at Mu Lianfeng with some complaint. When Mu Lianfeng glared at her, she immediately shut her mouth in fright. Haha, let's eat. Your master really knows how to bully people. I don't know why you're still so loyal to him when he bullies you like this. If it were me, I probably would have run away long ago. Right? Madam, you're absolutely right. There really aren't many people as loyal as me these days. It's all because my master is so lucky. As Mo Yin said that, she raised her chin proudly. She felt that she and Zhao Yun'er were very compatible. Well, your master is quite lucky, Zhao Yun'er said with a smile. Chapter 853. Mo Yin knew that to Mu Lianfeng, Zhao Yun'er's words were like an imperial edict that he would listen to. Maybe after hearing what Zhao Yun'er said, Mu Lianfeng would treat him better. After all, it was hard to find a subordinate like him. He was good at martial arts, and he was handsome. He would be very eye-catching when he went out. Just as Mo Yin was feeling complacent, Mu Lianfeng stomped down heavily on Mo Yin. Ah! Mo Yin screamed and looked at Mu Lianfeng fiercely. She asked Mu Lianfeng, Master, why did you step on me? Mu Lianfeng smiled. You said something wrong, so you should be punished. Also, eat properly when it's time to eat. What's the point of saying so much? You don't have to eat if you don't want to. I can finish so much by myself. Mo Yin pouted, feeling even more wronged. What could he say? He could only let his master bully him. Sigh. Mo Yin sighed deeply, feeling very wronged. However, she didn't dare to say anything more, afraid that she would make Mu Lianfeng unhappy, and she wouldn't be able to eat such delicious food. Zhao Yun'er had been listening to their conversation just now. She saw that their conversation touched on the issue of the sharpness of the weapons. In the era of cold weapons, soldiers relied on these weapons to fight. The better the quality of the weapon, the more effective it would be in battle. Now the problem that Mu Lianfeng found very troublesome was that the emperor was very dissatisfied with the weapon samples they submitted. He felt that the quality of the weapons didn't meet the standard, so he told Mu Lianfeng to improve the weapons and make them sharper. However, it was impossible to come up with a solution just by thinking about it. Mu Lianfeng thought about it himself and asked some people to help him think, but he still couldn't come up with a solution. It was because of this that Mu Lianfeng was very anxious. After all, the emperor's wait was limited. If they couldn't come up with a solution in the given time, it would be troublesome if the emperor got angry. Mu Lianfeng had been in a terrible fix because of this matter for the past few days. He didn't want to burden her with his troubles, so Mu Lianfeng didn't talk to Zhao Yin'er about it. If it were not for the fact that Zhao Yin'er had not entered Mu Lianfeng's tent without being discovered by Mu Lianfeng and Mu Lianfeng's conversation, Zhao Yin'er probably would not have known about this. Thinking about what Daodu had told her today, Zhao Yin'er suddenly felt a tinge of sadness in her heart. If Mu Lianfeng didn't solve the problem, he wouldn't be able to accompany Daodu so soon. Thinking of this, Zhao Yin'er felt that she had better help them think of a solution. How could he make a weapon sharp? This should have something to do with the materials used in the weapon. The material was hard, but the weapon was sharp. In this era, the weapons that people forged were basically made of iron. Zhao Yin'er thought for a while, wondering if she could find something harder to replace it. Suddenly, Zhao Yin'er was a little excited as if she suddenly thought of something. She didn't know if this method would work. She had to experiment it first. She didn't have much time today, so she would go up the mountain tomorrow and try again. If it worked, she would help Mu Lianfeng find a solution. Chapter 854. Both of them had eaten a lot, but they looked like they hadn't had enough. If it weren't for the fact that she could earn some money, she wouldn't be able to raise such a big family. Waiting for the two people to finish eating, Zhao Yin'er cleaned up the dishes. Mo Yin burped loudly. After burping, she looked at Zhao Yin'er and Mu Lianfeng awkwardly. Well, Master, Madam, I ate a little too much. Mo Yin didn't forget to flatter. It's all because Madam's food is too delicious. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to. Zhao Yin'er couldn't help but twitch the corner of her mouth a few times. So, it was her fault that he ate too much? Mu Lianfeng rolled his eyes at Mo Yin and snorted. Eat less next time. Oh, I know, Master. Alas, I can't control myself. Besides, there's so much food. We can't waste it, right? Don't worry. It won't be wasted. As long as he was here, he could eat as much as he wanted. Mo Yin answered resentfully again. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart that her master was too inhumane. It was fine that she bullied him usually, but she was stingy when it came to food. Could it be that she couldn't see how much weight he had lost after coming to this mountain? Mu Lianfeng, if you have something to do, you can go ahead. I'm going back. Zhao Yin'er carried the lunchbox and was about to leave. At this time, the sky outside had already darkened. Mu Lianfeng was afraid that Zhao Yin'er would be in danger if she went down the mountain alone. So he said to Zhao Yin'er, Yin'er, it's not safe at the foot of the mountain. I'd better give you a ride. Zhao Yin'er shook her head. It's fine. You go ahead. I can do it alone. Zhao Yin'er didn't want to waste Mu Lianfeng's time. In the past few days, because of this matter, Mu Lianfeng was so worried that he didn't have a good rest. His eyes were bloodshot. Zhao Yin'er felt very distressed when she saw this. I'm not busy. Yin'er, I'll give you a ride. I can also go out and get some fresh air. Mu Lianfeng insisted. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Zhao Yin'er didn't know what to say. She nodded and said, Okay, then give me a ride. N. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile, making people feel as if they were bathing in the spring breeze. The two of them walked out of the tent side by side and headed towards the foot of the mountain. When they reached a place where no one was around, Mu Lianfeng suddenly pulled Zhao Yin'er and hugged Zhao Yin'er tightly in his arms. Zhao Yin'er was stunned by Mu Lianfeng's sudden action. She couldn't help but ask, What's wrong, Mu Lianfeng? Are you okay? Mu Lianfeng shook his head and said, I'm fine. It's just that I've been too busy these 2 days. I don't have time to accompany you and Daodu. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Zhao Yin'er also curled up the corners of her mouth. In fact, she had missed him a lot. But she could tell the situation clearly. Mu Lianfeng was busy with business. Naturally, he didn't have much time to accompany her. It's fine. When you're done, you can accompany us again. Zhao Yin'er said with a smile. N. Mu Lianfeng responded, but he was very worried in his heart. Rather than being worried, it was more like he was afraid. Because this matter was very tricky, He was afraid that if he didn't handle it well, the emperor would be angry. At that time, not only would he not be able to ask the emperor to grant him a marriage, he was also afraid that the emperor would torture him. Chapter 855. But if he didn't do it well, although the emperor didn't have any reason to blame him, he had other ways to make things difficult for him. Mu Lianfeng was afraid that Zhao Yun'er would be implicated. It wasn't easy for them to have hope. But this time, it was abruptly interrupted. Zhao Yun'er broke away from Mu Lianfeng's embrace. Seeing Mu Lianfeng frowning, she stretched out her hand to smooth out the wrinkles between Mu Lianfeng's eyebrows. She said to Mu Lianfeng, "Take your time. You're not alone now. You have Daodu and me." Mu Lianfeng responded. Zhao Yun'er's words were like a warm current flowing through his heart. "Let's go." Zhao Yun'er held Mu Lianfeng's hand and was about to continue walking when they heard a sound from the grass. It was a woman's coquettish voice again. Zhao Yun'er's face was suddenly dyed with a blush. She knew who this familiar voice belonged to. It should be Zhang Cui, or who couldn't bear it anymore, and went to find someone to do it. It would be fine if she ran into it alone, but Mu Lianfeng was with her. Mu Lianfeng seemed to have noticed it too. He frowned and asked softly, "Yun'er, what's this sound? Who's there? Let's go and have a look." Zhao Yun'er was shocked when she heard it. She hurriedly pulled Mu Lianfeng. What was there to look at? It would be so embarrassing if she ran into Mu Lianfeng at the same time. Well, it should be nothing. You'd better not go and have a look," Zhao Yun'er said casually. The more Zhao Yun'er said, the more curious Mu Lianfeng was. "Yun'er, do you know who it is? What happened?" Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows and asked. Well, Zhao Yun'er didn't know how to respond. What could she say? She couldn't possibly tell Mu Lianfeng that the man and woman in the bushes were having an affair right in front of him. "I'll go and have a look. It's so late at night. What if something happens to her?" Mu Lianfeng was silent for a while, and finally insisted on going. With Mu Lianfeng's tall body, Zhao Yun'er realized that she couldn't hold him back at all. She could only let Mu Lianfeng do as he pleased. Zhao Yun'er lowered her head and quickly followed him. "Be careful. Let's take a look first. Don't disturb others. What if nothing happened?" "All right." Mu Lianfeng walked over softly. When he got closer, he saw a man and a woman performing an erotic scene in front of him. Ahem. Yun'er is fine. Let's go," Mu Lianfeng said and covered Zhao Yun'er's eyes, as if he was afraid that Zhao Yun'er would see it. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was so calm, Zhao Yun'er couldn't help being curious. Did he really not see anything? It didn't make sense. She couldn't have been hallucinating just now. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but ask, "Mu Lianfeng, didn't you see anything?" Mu Lianfeng stopped walking and shook his head. "No." However, after saying this, a trace of unnoticeable awkwardness flashed across Mu Lianfeng's face. "But there was a sound just now." Mu Lianfeng cleared his throat. "Yun'er, let's go. It's other people's business." Mu Lianfeng's words made Zhao Yun'er realize that Mu Lianfeng had seen Zhang Cuier doing it just now. He just didn't want her to see it, so he deliberately said that. Seeing Mu Lianfeng's serious look, she felt that he was really cute. Chapter 856. Mu Lianfeng sent Zhao Yun'er to the entrance of the village before turning back. He didn't come back to sleep for the past 2 days, and slept directly on the mountain. Zhao Yun'er felt a little uncomfortable with no one to warm her bed. On the way back, when she passed by Mulan's house, she saw a sneaky figure. She didn't know what he was doing. Zhao Yun'er was very familiar with this figure. It was none other than Mulan's wretched uncle, Zhu Sanlu. Needless to say, Zhu Sanlu was still strolling in front of the courtyard at this time of night. There must be something wrong. Meanwhile, the lights in family Zhu's house were on in Mulan's house. Zhu Sanlu's reaction seemed to be very anxious. He looked nervously in the direction of family Zhu. Zhao Yun'er came closer, and Zhu Sanlu also noticed Zhao Yun'er. Zhu Sanlu wanted to flirt with Zhao Yun'er. After suffering a loss that night, he knew that Zhao Yun'er wasn't so easy to deal with. Therefore, he just stared at Zhao Yun'er wretchedly for a while. When she met Zhu Sanlu's gaze, Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but frown. She said to Zhu Sanlu unhappily, "Why are you looking at me? Do you believe that I won't gouge your eyes out if you keep looking? Zhao Yun's tone was a little shrewish and threatening. Zhu Sanlu smiled wretchedly and said, "Little girl, aren't you good looking for people to see? Is there anything wrong with looking at you?" Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but roll her eyes and say sarcastically, "I'm good looking for people to see, not for a beast like you." Zhu Sanlu knew that Zhao Yun'er was mocking him. He glared at Zhao Yun'er angrily and said, "Woman, how can you say that?" Zhao Yun'er's sneer deepened. "Look, I'm not wrong to say that you're a beast. As long as you're a human, you can understand my words. Only beasts can't." Zhu Sanlu's anger was stirred up by Zhao Yun'er. How could this woman be so overboard? She kept calling him a beast. How is he a beast? Don't go too far. If you provoke me, I'll hit you. Zhu Sanlu gritted his teeth and said, Zhao Yun'er only thought that it was funny. Glancing at Zhu Sanlu's thin and weak body, Zhao Yun'er put her hands on her waist, condescendingly said, "I'm curious if you can beat me." Zhao Yun'er's words made Zhu Sanlu feel that his dignity had been greatly insulted. What she meant was that he, a man, couldn't even beat a woman. If this spread out, who knows how many people would laugh at him. In order to prove himself and save his dignity, Zhu Sanlu decided to teach Zhu Sanlu a lesson first, and let Zhao Yun'er see how powerful he was. "Just you wait, stinking woman. I'll beat you until you kneel down and beg for mercy." With that, Zhu Sanlu rushed over. Zhu Sanlu thought that if he really subdued Zhao Yun'er, he would molest Zhao Yun'er while he was at it. It would be a pity if he didn't bully such a beautiful woman. Seeing Zhu Sanlu rushing over, Zhao Yun'er stood calmly in the same place. She couldn't understand Zhu Sanlu's thin and weak body. Where did he get the confidence to beat someone? Let's not talk about her. Even an ordinary woman with no skills might not be able to defeat him. Chapter 857. Zhao Yun'er's movements were as smooth as flowing water. At the same time, she kicked Zhu Sanlu away effortlessly. Withdrawing her foot, Zhao Yun'er's eyes flashed with disdain. After Zhu Sanlu flew out, he screamed. Ah! His scream was very miserable. "It hurts. It hurts so much," Zhu Sanlu said and struggled to get up from the ground. But before he could straighten up for a while, he fell down again. Seeing that Zhu Sanlu's chin was knocked open, Zhao Yun'er's heart was secretly pleased. Zhao Yun'er lowered her head and squatted in front of Zhu Sanlu. Her voice sounded sarcastic. "What? Didn't you say that you were going to teach me a lesson? Why are you so weak?" Zhu Sanlu gritted his teeth. You wait and see. Humph. Oh, you're still being stubborn. It seems that I have to teach you a lesson," Zhao Yun'er said and stepped on Zhu Sanlu's crotch again. Zhu Sanlu hurriedly begged for mercy. "Yun'er, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have hit you. Please let me go." The reason why he became so scared in a second was that the thing below was too important for Zhu Sanlu. Now that it was finally getting better, if Zhao Yun'er's foot went down, wouldn't it be impossible for the things below to get better? Zhao Yun'er sneered and said, "What? You were still lustful just now, but you lost your courage so quickly? Yun'er, it's my fault. I shouldn't have taken advantage of you. Ha! Yun'er, please let me go. I don't want to be impotent for the rest of my life. I promise that I will stay far away from you when I see you in the future. I will never dirty your eyes." Hearing Zhu Sanlu's words, Zhao Yun'er felt that it was acceptable. Zhao Tian got down from Zhu Sanlu's dirty thing with disgust. He raised his eyebrows and said, "Remember what you said today?" Yes. Just when Zhu Sanlu thought he was saved, the commotion attracted Zhu Eru. As soon as he saw Zhu Eru, Zhu Sanlu was so scared that he immediately fled. Zhu Eru didn't give him the chance. He immediately stepped forward and grabbed Zhu Sanlu's collar. Zhao Yun'er couldn't figure out what was going on. After that, Mulan also rushed over. She frowned and stared at Zhu Eru and Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Eru snorted in a deep voice. "Run? Let's see where you can run to." "Eru." Zhu Sanlu called Zhao Eru. But there was fear in his eyes when he looked at Zhao Eru. Zhu Eru coldly snorted. "Don't call me second brother. You only know how to do those beastly things all day. And you still have the nerve to call me second brother?" Zhu Sanlu had an aggrieved look on his face. "Second brother. Ha. I was wondering why I couldn't find you. It turns out that you secretly ran out to hide. Since you know that what you did was wrong, why did you still do it? Facing Zhu Eru's aggressive and frightening eyes, Zhu Sanlu began to regret. If he had known this would happen, he wouldn't have dared to do it. Second brother, I was wrong. I was wrong. Can you let me go? I won't dare to do it again. Zhu Eru snorted. Haven't I let you go many times? I'm being merciful by not killing you. Chapter 858. Zhu Eru didn't show any mercy when he beat Zhu Sanlu. Seeing Zhu Sanlu like this, Zhao Yin'er was worried that Zhu Sanlu would be beaten to death by Zhu Eru. Although Zhu Sanlu was a little hateful, this was the same as the 21st century. A life for a life. If Zhu Sanlu really died, Zhu Eru had to take the responsibility. Seeing Zhu Eru so angry, Zhao Yin'er couldn't help but ask Mulan. Mulan, what did your third younger brother do to make Eru so angry? Mulan sighed and explained to Zhao Yin'er. Zhao Yin'er didn't understand what had happened until she heard it. Zhu Sanlu was a disgusting man. Zhu Eru didn't punish him that badly. Under Zhu Eru's punches, Zhu Sanlu's whole face was bruised and swollen. Seeing Zhu Sanlu like this, Zhao Yin'er couldn't help laughing. He deserved it. After beating Zhu Sanlu hard, Zhu Eru finally vented his anger. He pulled Mulan and said, Lan'er, let's go back. We'll be able to answer to Xinxin this time. Mulan glanced at Zhu Sanlu, who couldn't get up from the ground. She couldn't help asking, Uncle, do you want to carry him back with us? Zhu Eru snorted. Since he wants to hide outside, let him be. We don't need to care about him. Fine. Yin'er, I'm going back now. You should go back too. Zhao Yin'er nodded. Sure, Mrs. Mulan. After they went back home from family Zhu's place, Zhao Yin'er fell asleep soon with Daodu. The next morning, they went to the breakfast stall early. It was strange that Yili didn't come to eat breakfast today. Yili came to eat breakfast at her stall every day. It had become a habit. If he didn't come, something must have happened. Yin'er, why didn't Lord Yi come today? Mulan got close to Zhao Yin'er and asked curiously. Zhao Yin'er shook her head. I don't know. There was a hint of disappointment in Mulan's eyes as she said, Sigh, without Mr. Yi, our business has been greatly affected. There aren't any young ladies buying breakfast today. Zhao Yin'er chuckled. Sister Mulan, I think you're disappointed because you can't see a handsome man, right? Mu glared at Zhao Yin'er coquettishly. Yin'er. Haha, haha. Aren't you that kind of a woman? You can't even look straight when you see a man. Mulan pursed her lips as if she didn't agree. She reminded Zhao Yin'er. Yin'er, you can only joke about this outside. If Era hears this, he might get jealous in front of me. Zhao Yin'er quickly nodded. Okay, I got it. Although she was joking with Mulan, Zhao Yin'er was secretly worried about Yi Li. She hoped that nothing would happen to this guy. She set up the breakfast stall with a heavy heart. Without Yi Li's beautiful signboard, Zhao Yin'er's business was very bleak. When she closed the stall, there were still a lot of things on Zhao Yin'er's stall that hadn't been sold. However, these things weren't sold, so there wasn't much left. Zhao Yin'er and Mulan's families could share a little and bring it to their children. Chapter 859. After shopping at the market, Zhao Yin'er and the others set off for home. On the way, Mulan and Muhin kept reminding her that if anyone bullied her again, she must tell them. After all, if Muhin didn't say anything, they wouldn't know. They couldn't let Muhin be bullied for nothing. The car stopped in front of old Zhao's yard. When Zhao Yin'er got out of the car and was about to go back to prepare lunch, she saw Li Chuiying rushing over angrily. It seemed that she was going to fight Zhao Yin'er to the death. Zhao Yin'er frowned immediately. She didn't know what Li Chuiying had done this time. She raised her eyebrows unhappily and asked Li Chuiying, Second aunt, why are you acting like a shrew in front of me? What did I do to offend you? Zhao Yin'er's tone was a little more reproachful. She looked at Li Chuiying, as if she was looking at a mad dog. Li Chuiying snorted coldly and said to Zhao Yin'er, You little b***tsh, you still have the nerve to ask? Don't you know what shameful things you've done? Zhao Yin'er's frown deepened, and she became more curious. What could she have done? These days, she didn't have any contact with old Zhao's family at all. What did she do to offend Li Chuiying for no reason? Liang Jinxiao walked over and said to Li Chuiying, "Second sister-in-law, what's the matter? You can make it clear. You hit her as soon as you came. We're all family. Why are you so impulsive?" Liang Jinxiao was also unhappy about Li Chuiying's crazy behavior. If anyone hurt Zhao Yun'er, she would definitely not let them off easily. Li Chuiying took a few deep breaths. She rolled up her sleeves and pouted. She looked at Zhao Yun'er and Liang Jinxiao aggressively and said, "Didn't you want to ask why? All right, I'll tell you about it today." Li Chuiying didn't mind the trouble and shouted outside old Zhao's yard, as if she was afraid that she wouldn't cause trouble. "Everyone come and judge. How can there be such a shameless B***tch in the world?" Along with Li Chuiying's loud voice and the gossipy nature of the villagers, a lot of people came to join in the fun after hearing Li Chuiying's loud voice. Seeing that there were villagers here, Li Chuiying became more arrogant. "Third sister-in-law, don't blame me for being angry with you. Look at what a good daughter you have." "What's wrong with my daughter?" Liang Jinxiao replied unhappily. Except for Zhao Ping, Liang Jinxiao knew Zhao Yun'er very well. He couldn't find anything bad about her. "Don't you feel ashamed to say this? Haha, Zhao Yun'er has learned how to seduce people. She even dares to steal her cousin's man." Li Chuiying was very angry when she said this. Her face was gloomy. When she saw Zhao Yun'er's face, she wanted to tear Zhao Yun'er's face apart. If Zhao Yun'er becomes an ugly monster, let's see if she still has the ability to seduce men. "Second sister-in-law, what do you mean? You can't talk nonsense. When did Yun'er steal her cousin's man?" Liang Jinxiao also asked with a gloomy face. At this time, there were so many villagers and neighbors. If Li Chuiying slandered Zhao Yun'er like this, it would be really bad for Zhao Yun'er's reputation. Zhao Yun'er narrowed her eyes slightly. She wasn't anxious and thought about what had happened in between. Why did Li Chuiying say this? Chapter 860. Haha, my sister-in-law. You shouldn't be so protective of your daughter like this. Let me make it clear in front of so many people. Anyway, you're the ones who should be embarrassed. Our Jing, and Child Zheng's marriage were going well, but Child Zheng suddenly asked matchmaker Feng to come over today and say that he wants to marry Yun'er, not Jinger. Haha, my sister-in-law, why would Child Zheng say that? Your daughter must have done something to make him change his mind. After Li Chuiying finished speaking, Zhao Jinger walked behind Li Chuiying with a sullen face. She seemed to be very sad. "Mom," Zhao Jinger called her mother in a hoarse voice. Her eyes were red. She had been crying. Zhao Jinger probably thought that this was a good marriage, and that she had almost reached an agreement with the Zheng family. She should be able to marry Zheng Qian. She didn't expect that matchmaker Gao would suddenly come over today with this news. No one could bear such a huge sense of loss. "Mother, forget it." Zhao Jinger pulled Li Chuiying and said. Now that Zheng Qian had said so, what else could she do? She couldn't argue with Zheng Qian and force him to marry her. If other people knew, they would definitely laugh at her. Zhao Jinger felt wrong thinking about it. Li Chuiying pulled Zhao Jinger's hand. "Jing, how can we just let it go like this? Zhao Yun'er, that little bitch, stole your future husband. How can you do this? Dear neighbors and fellow villagers, please be the judge for me." Although the onlookers didn't know what had happened, they had a general idea. Previously, Li Chuiying thought that Zhao Yun'er had found a good marriage, and even showed it off in the village. He didn't expect that only 2 days later, the person he wanted to marry became Zhao Yun'er. It must be that Zhao Yun'er seduced Zhao Jinger's future husband. Therefore, the villagers began to talk about it. I didn't expect Zhao Yun'er to be such a person. Exactly. How could she steal her cousin's man? Well, who knows? There are all kinds of people these days. No wonder old Zhao's second branch is angry. Anyone would be angry. That's not the case. It's probably because Zhao Yun'er felt that Jinger had married into a good family, so she was jealous and snatched her away. That's probably the case. Otherwise, that man wouldn't change his mind and say that he's here to marry Zhao Yun'er instead of Jing. Yes, of course. The villagers were chattering, but they were all leaning towards Li Chuiying's side, criticizing Zhao Yun'er's bad words. When Zhao Yun'er heard this, she only felt that it was very ridiculous. Did these people have any brains? Why did they believe what others said? Li Chueying was very proud when he heard that Zhao Yuner was criticized. This was the consequence of stealing Zhao Yuner's man. He was going to ruin Zhao Yuner's reputation, and see if Zhao Yuner still dared to do it. Zhao Yuner, sister-in-law, what else do you have to say now? Li Chueying seemed to be in the right, and continued to ask. Well, Liang Jinqiao didn't know how to refute Li Chueying. So he looked at Zhao Yuner and waited for Zhao Yuner's response. Zhao Yuner shrugged innocently. Aunt, you're ridiculous. That's not how you slander people, right? Chapter 861. Li Chueying was so arrogant because she was sure that the villagers would stand on her side. However, in Zhao Yuner's eyes, she was just a clown. Zhao Yuner sneered. Second aunt. Let's not talk about why Child Zheng changed his marriage partner to me. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. I just want to ask, do I have to seduce Child Zheng and come between Sister Jing and Child Zheng? How is that impossible? If you didn't seduce him, would Child Zheng take a fancy to you? Zhao Yuner, don't quibble. It's useless. Li Chueying criticized her angrily. Zhao Yuner snorted. Second aunt. Where did you get the confidence that I would take a fancy to Child Zheng? Child Zheng is just a little rich. How can he compare with Child Shitzi? When the onlooking villagers heard Zhao Yuner's words, they realized that a Child Shitzi was standing on Zhao Yuner. Unless she was stupid, she wouldn't abandon Child Shitzi to be with an ordinary person like Child Zheng. Besides, marrying Child Zheng isn't going to be his wife. It's just a concubine. Second aunt. I'll make it clear to you here. Even if Child Zheng takes a fancy to me, it's useless. I definitely won't agree. Only you treasure me as a concubine. Do you think you've hooked up with a rich husband? After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, there was a meaningful smile at the corner of her mouth. The onlooking villagers were in an uproar. It turned out that marrying Child Zheng to be a concubine was something that Li Chueying had the face to show off in front of the villagers. They thought that Zhao Yuner had married into a good family. Then the villagers continued to talk about it, all of which were unpleasant to hear. How could Zhao Yuner stand other people's comments? Her face turned red, and she wanted to find a hole to hide in. Mother, I told you to stop talking. Why are you still talking? Zhao Yuner said angrily to Li Chueying, then ran away with her face covered. After all, he was only a teenager. It was normal for him to feel ashamed. Zhao Yuner sighed in her heart when she saw that Zhao Jing was about to cry because of the villagers' comments. She didn't want to hurt her cousin, but Li Chueying was too difficult to deal with. If she didn't say that, how could she refute Li Chueying? Li Chueying's face turned pale. In her heart, she was cursing Zhao Yuner, this little bitch. She was too much. Not only did she steal Jinger's man, but now she was causing gossip. Li Chueying was not willing to give up and continued. Zhao Yuner, you're just saying it. Who knows what you're thinking in your heart? Using the heir apparent as a shield? If the heir apparent was really willing to marry you, he wouldn't have remained silent until now, right? Why are you still cooped up in the village and living like us? You can't live in the crown prince's residence. In my opinion, the heir apparent doesn't care about you at all. Maybe you can't even be the heir apparent's concubine in the future. That's why you want to marry Child Zheng. Zhao Yuner's eyes suddenly became sharp. This woman really had a lot of imagination. Chapter 862. Mu Lianfeng's voice was cold, but it was very intimidating. Li Chueying was completely shocked by his words. With Mu Lianfeng admitting it himself, it was useless even if Li Chueying wanted to criticize him. Similarly, she didn't dare to do so. If he offended Mu Lianfeng, he wouldn't be able to bear the consequences. It seems that Yuner has been slandered. She's not stupid. She can be the princess consort of His Highness, but she can't be someone else's concubine. That's right. Anyone who isn't stupid knows how to choose. Even without this comparison, ordinary men wouldn't be willing to marry someone else as a concubine, right? Yes, so what if she's rich? Being a concubine has no status at all. She can't even eat at the table. It's far worse than being a legal wife. Why would anyone want to be a concubine? Zhao Yun'er didn't care about the villagers' discussion. Yes, His Highness, I won't do it again. Li Chuiying was frightened for a while before he came back to his senses. He hurriedly replied. Zhao Yun'er sneered. Mu Lianfeng was indeed useful. As long as Mu Lianfeng showed up, all the bad guys would get out of here. Second aunt, next time, please figure out the truth first before you make trouble for others. It's not good to slander people like this. Zhao Yun'er warned. Li Chuiying gnashed his teeth in anger, but could only nod and agree. Yun'er, let's go. Mu Lianfeng pulled Zhao Yun'er and said. Okay. Zhao Yun'er responded. The crowd began to disperse gradually. Zhao Yun'er went to the kitchen of the third branch to prepare lunch for the men. Mu Lianfeng followed behind Zhao Yun'er and didn't know what to say. Looking at Zhao Yun'er's busy back, a trace of guilt emerged in his heart. After all, Zhao Yun'er was bullied like this today because he didn't do a good job. He didn't give Zhao Yun'er a status, and couldn't let Zhao Yun'er become his princess consort. That was why she was slandered like this. Thinking of this, Mu Lianfeng felt that he had to marry Zhao Yun'er as soon as possible. He had to let everyone know that she was his wife. Princess consort should be loved by everyone instead of being bullied. Give him a little more time. Just give him a little more time. He would definitely let her marry him in a grand manner. Zhao Yun'er turned around and saw Mu Lianfeng staring at her back in a daze. She could not help but raise her eyebrows and ask, Mu Lianfeng, what's wrong with you? Why are you in a daze? Mu Lianfeng finally reacted. He curved his lips and said with a smile, Yun'er, I'm fine. If you're fine, go back to the room and rest. Dinner will be ready later. Mu Lianfeng shook his head. No need. I'll help you cook. Go and rest. My mother and I will be enough in the kitchen. Yun'er, I specially came back from the mountain to spend more time with you and Daodu. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone down the mountain. Zhao Yun'er's lips curved. She said with a smile. All right then. Go and start the fire. Okay. Zhao Yun'er then called out to Liang Jinxiao. Mother, help me cut the vegetables. Okay. Liang Jinxiao responded. Looking at Mu Lianfeng, who was busy in front of the stove, Liang Jinxiao's eyes revealed a strange emotion. Chapter 863. Her Yun'er was blessed to be able to find a man like the heir apparent. As Zhao Yun'er cooked, she asked Liang Jinxiao, Mother, didn't you say that youngest aunt was coming today? Why isn't she here yet? Speaking of this, Liang Jinxiao was also very curious. Yeah, I find it strange too. If she was coming, she should be here by now. Why isn't she here yet? Could it be that she has something on today, so she can't come? Liang Jinxiao muttered. Zhao Yun'er thought about it and felt that it was possible. After all, every family would have some kind of situation to some extent. It was a pity that she had prepared so many dishes. If her youngest aunt didn't come, she probably wouldn't be able to eat them. She didn't know when her youngest aunt would come over, so she couldn't possibly prepare good food every day. As they were talking, a woman's voice sounded from outside the door. Eldest sister, eldest sister. Liang Jinxiao's hands paused, and she smiled at Zhao Yun'er and said, Yun'er, speak of the devil. Your youngest aunt is here now. She's just in time for lunch. Zhao Yun'er responded. Liang Jinxiao walked out of the kitchen, and Zhao Yun'er followed curiously. She was curious about what her youngest aunt was like. After Zhao Yun'er walked out of the kitchen, she saw a woman standing in her courtyard. Beside her was a 16 or 17-year-old boy, who looked about the same age as Zhao Tianan. However, Zhao Yun'er realized that although her youngest aunt was younger than Liang Jinxiao, she looked very old. She seemed to be a few years older than Liang Jinxiao. Zhao Yun'er's youngest aunt Liang Jinyu had yellowish-brown skin. Her hands were so wrinkled that they couldn't be looked at. She was skinny, without a trace of meat. Even her clothes were tattered, and there was a lot of white hair in her hair. He was clearly a man in his 30s, but he was tormented as if he was in his 40s or 50s. It was a heart-wrenching sight. The reason why Liang Jinyu was like this was because her family's condition was too poor, much worse than old Zhao's family. In order to survive, her aunt's family had contracted a lot of land. Then, under the oppression of the landlords, her harvest was very small. She worked herself to death all day long, and the family didn't have much rice to eat. They were often in a state of hunger. "Little sister, why did you only come at this time?" Liang Jinxiao went forward and greeted her. Zhao Yuner came over and greeted Liang Jinyu. "Auntie." Liang Jinyu stared at Zhao Yuner and asked Liang Jinxiao, "Sister, is this Yinu?" Liang Jinxiao nodded. The corner of Liang Jinyu's mouth revealed a kind smile as she said to Liang Jinxiao, "Big sister, your Yin'er has become more and more beautiful." With that, Liang Jinyu took Zhao Yuner's hand intimately and sighed slightly. "What a good child. It's just that she has suffered a lot in the past few years." Liang Jinyu knew that Zhao Yuner was pregnant before marriage, but Liang Jinyu didn't know about the changes in Zhao Yuner's family in the past few months. Even so, Zhao Yuner found that her youngest aunt didn't dislike her at all. This attitude was very different from that of ordinary people. Zhao Yuner's heart warmed, especially when she met Liang Jinyu's concerned eyes. Those eyes couldn't be faked. Her youngest aunt was indeed as her mother said. She wasn't a weirdo. At the same time, Zhao Yuner sighed in relief in her heart. Finally, the whole family had met a normal person. Chapter 864. Auntie, I'm fine. You can go in and rest for a while. Lunch will be ready soon. Speaking of this, Liang Jinyu waved her hand and said to Zhao Yuner and Liang Jinxiao, "I came to see you. I'll go back after I send the money. I still have work to do at home. Otherwise, I wouldn't have rushed over so late." As Liang Jinyu spoke, she took out a wrinkled red paper bag from her sleeve and handed it to Liang Jinxiao. She said to Liang Jinxiao, "Elder sister, this is a little token of my appreciation, although it's not much." Liang Jinxiao took it. Seeing the heavy copper coins in the red packet, he knew at a glance that Liang Jinyu had given a lot of money. Liang Jinxiao knew that his younger sister lived a hard life. It was not easy for her to take out money, let alone take out so much money. Liang Jinxiao looked at it and saw that there were 66 copper coins. He guessed that Liang Jinyu was thinking that it was good luck. Liang Jinxiao's brows were tightly knitted together. She pulled her younger sister and said, "Little sister, you can just give 15 copper coins or 20 copper coins to express your sincerity. Tell me, why did you suddenly take out 66 copper coins?" Liang Jinxiao's face was stiff, as if he was unhappy with Liang Jinyu's behavior. Liang Jinyu said, "Elder sister, it's not much. Ping'er is my niece. Do you think I can give less? If you think this money is too much, you can ask Ping'er to bring it to her husband's house, and let Ping'er have more money for herself." Liang Jinxiao sighed, and did not know what to say to Liang Jinyu. "Younger sister, your family's conditions are special. Life is not easy. How can you take out so much money? Use the rest of the money to buy more things for your children to nourish their bodies. Look at how thin Shirtu has become." The Shirtu that Liang Jinxiao mentioned was the boy who came with Liang Jinyu, Zhao Yuner's cousin. When he was growing, he didn't eat well, so he was malnourished. He was dry and thin, and his height was half a head shorter than Zhao Tianan's. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Big sister, if you don't accept it, then you're looking down on me." Liang Jinxiao naturally couldn't say anything after hearing what Liang Jinyu said. If she continued, it would only make Liang Jinyu think that her family didn't accept so much money because they pitted her family. No matter what era people were in, the last thing they wanted to see was other people's sympathetic eyes. She hated being pitted by others. Zhao Yuner tugged at Liang Jinxiao's sleeve and said, "Mother, since it's a gift from Xiao Yi, don't be so long-winded. Quickly accept it." Liang Jinxiao responded, "Okay, I'll tell Ping'er about it later. Tell her that her aunt treats her the best." Liang Jinxiao's words made Liang Jinyu feel a little sad. She thought about how she had given 66 copper coins to her second sister's daughter. At that time, her second sister's reaction was not like this. Not only was she unhappy, but she also complained that she had given too little. She even said that Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui had given her 200 copper coins. In fact, her second sister didn't know that even though she had borrowed money from others and scraped together the 66 copper coins, she probably wouldn't have been able to afford it otherwise. Now that she compared herself to her eldest sister, Liang Jinyu was puzzled. They were obviously sisters, so why was there such a big difference? Her eldest sister was much more considerate. Chapter 865. Well, Liang Jinyu seemed to be a little hesitant. Seeing Liang Jinyu's hesitation, Zhao Yin'er said with a smile, "Aunt, how long will it take to have a meal? You and Brother Stone have run so far. You must be tired, right? You can't just come to my house and leave. You should at least take a rest and drink a glass of water. It's almost noon. My mother has prepared a lot of dishes for you today. You can't let my mother's efforts go to waste." Liang Jinxiao agreed. "Yes, sister. Why do you say that you should leave after having a meal? She has prepared a lot of good dishes today." Liang Jinyu was afraid to trouble Liang Jinxiao. Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Yin'er persuaded her repeatedly, so she was too embarrassed to refuse. "Sister, will it be too much trouble for you?" Liang Jinyu frowned and asked carefully. Liang Jinxiao shook her head. "It's okay, sister. Don't worry. Now that we've separated from the family, it's not troublesome for us to entertain people." Only then did Liang Jinyu relent and reply, "All right then, big sister, I'll stay and eat." "Okay." Liang Jinxiao responded with a smile. She invited Liang Jinyu and Stone into the house, and poured a cup of tea for each of them. "Sister, sit down and have a rest first. I'll go and cook. Today big brother and second brother are also here. We can have a good talk." Hearing Liang Jinxiao say that Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui were also here, Liang Jinyu was slightly surprised. "Sister, why are big brother and second brother also here?" Liang Jinxiao told Liang Jinyu about what had happened at home. Hearing that, Liang Jinyu couldn't help sighing in her heart. She didn't expect that the situation of her sister's family had changed so much during this period. However, seeing that her sister's family could live a better life, she was happy too. "Sister, you can go and help them. Don't worry about me." "Okay, then sit down and have a rest. Don't worry. I'll go and cook. It won't take long." "All right." When Liang Jinxiao returned to the kitchen, Zhao Yin'er was already busy. Zhao Yin'er was quite satisfied when she thought of her simple aunt. If all her relatives could be like her aunt, then there wouldn't be so much trouble. Soon, a fragrant smell wafted out of the kitchen. Liang Jinyu and Shirtu, who were sitting in the third room, couldn't help but swallow their saliva when they smelled this aroma. Shirtu couldn't help but say to Liang Jinyu, "Mother, I smell the aroma of meat. Can we eat meat for lunch?" Liang Jinyu looked at Stone's drooling appearance, and her heart ached slightly. The last time they had meat was during the Lunar New Year. They hadn't eaten meat in months. "Shirtu, you'll be able to eat meat later. But don't eat too much, okay? The others still need to eat. 1 or 2 pieces will be enough." After Liang Jinyu's reminder, Stone nodded and replied, "Mother, I know. That's good. Especially in front of your eldest uncle and second uncle. You have to be polite. Otherwise, you'll definitely be scolded by them." Shirtu replied solemnly, "Mother, I'll remember what you said." "That's good. Outside is not like home. Although our family is a little poor, we still have to pay attention to etiquette, okay?" Okay. Liang Jinyu was finally able to put her heart at ease after giving her instructions. Chapter 866. Zhao Yin'er was almost done cooking in the kitchen. When Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui saw Liang Jinyu, they frowned slightly. On the contrary, when Liang Jinyu saw Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui, she hurriedly stood up and pulled Stone aside. "Big brother, second brother." Liang Jinyu greeted them affectionately. Stone also greeted Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui very politely. "Uncle, second uncle." Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui responded indifferently. It's not good to refuse. "Hi." Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui's indifferent attitude made Liang Jinyu feel very embarrassed. However, she couldn't say anything. In fact, she was already used to Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui's attitude. They were always like this when she met her older brothers. After all, their family wasn't good enough. Her 2 older brothers just looked down on their poor family. Although she felt a little upset, it was understandable. Big brother, second brother, you must be tired. Hurry and sit down. Liang Jinyu greeted them enthusiastically. Liang Jinshan sneered. Younger sister, this is our big sister's house, not your home. Why do you act like we're at your home? Don't we know how to sit down? Yes, big brother, you're right. Liang Jinyu's eyes slightly darkened. She stepped aside and didn't continue to speak. She was afraid that if she said something wrong, Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui would pick on her again. After Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui sat down, Liang Jinhui glanced at Liang Jinyu indifferently and asked, Younger sister, why are you here today? Hearing Liang Jinhui's question, Liang Jinyu explained, Big brother, second brother, isn't Pinger getting married? I'm here to give her some money as a gift. I see. You're so considerate. It's my pleasure. Yes, it's my pleasure. After all, you're Pinger's aunt. Second brother, you're right. When they were talking in the room, Zhao Yun'er brought the dishes in and invited everyone in the room to eat. When the dishes were served, the people in the room couldn't help but sigh at how good the dishes were these days. There were braised pork, roasted lamb chops, braised chicken, steamed fish head with chopped hot red peppers, peanuts, side dishes, and egg soup. The small table was filled with food, and it was as sumptuous as a banquet. Looking at these dishes, everyone in the room couldn't help but swallow their saliva, not to mention being attracted by the rich fragrance. Today's meal is so sumptuous. Isn't that so? Even a big landlord's family can't eat so well during the new year. We are in for a treat today. The happiest ones were the men at work. The richness of Zhao Yun'er's dishes was something he had never eaten before. Not to mention paying them to work. Even if they were not paid for the sumptuous dishes, they would still be willing to work for the sake of the food. Everyone sit down and eat, Zhao Wenhua said. The only difficulty with today's meal was that there were too many people in the room, and they couldn't sit down at all. The women could only stand to eat. Even if they squeezed together, they could barely accommodate a few men. It's really crowded to eat here, Liang Jinshan said, then said to Liang Jinyu and Shi Tu, It's so crowded. How can you two sit down? Hurry up and get up. Chapter 867. Liang Jinyu was embarrassed by Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui's words. In fact, she didn't want to sit down, but Zhao Yun'er pulled her and Stone to sit down. Otherwise, they wouldn't have sat down. Oh, Liang Jinyu answered and stood up with Stone. What her two brothers said was right. There were so many people here. How could she, a woman, and Stone, a child, sit down? Stone stood up with a red face. Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui didn't forget to scold him. Hey, you're so ignorant. Don't you know the rules outside? Poor people are like this. Many people don't know the rules. It's normal. If you don't know the rules, you can learn them. You can't embarrass yourself. Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui said one after another. Liang Jinyu's face and ears turned red, making her feel ashamed. Zhao Yun'er listened to Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui's words. She couldn't help but scold them in her heart. Was it really good to humiliate and ridicule people like this? Because her youngest aunt was poor, she was ridiculed by her eldest uncle and second uncle. If her family was as poor as before, her eldest uncle and second uncle would probably treat her the same way. People like her eldest uncle and second uncle ridiculed the poor and flattered the rich. To put it bluntly, they were too snobbish. Zhao Yun'er stood in front of Liang Jinyu and defended her. Eldest uncle and second uncle, it's wrong of you to say that. Youngest aunt and Stone came to our house to give us gifts and money. They are our guests. Of course, our family will treat them well. This big table of dishes is specially prepared for youngest aunt. What's wrong with her eating at the table? Being criticized by Zhao Yun'er, Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui smiled embarrassedly. They continued unwillingly. Isn't it such a small thing? Yun'er, the money your youngest aunt sent over is probably not enough for you to buy these dishes. They meant that Liang Jinyu was too poor and didn't need to treat her well. They couldn't even get back the cost of treating Liang Jinyu with such great fanfare. She was still looking down on Liang Jinyu. Zhao Yun'er was a little angry. What kind of people were these? Her first and second uncles were really weird. Zhao Yun'er sneered and said sarcastically, "Eldest uncle and second uncle, you're wrong. My youngest aunt came over and gave 66 copper coins as a gift. Unlike eldest uncle and second uncle, you only gave 20 copper coins. I've treated all of you well, so of course I have to treat my aunt well." Zhao Yun'er's words made Liang Jinshun and Liang Jinhui very embarrassed. Their grayish-black faces flushed red for a moment. At that time, they didn't know that Zhao Yun'er's family's life had become so good. If they had known earlier, they definitely wouldn't have only brought 20 copper coins. Unfortunately, it was too late for regrets. Zhao Yun'er and her family knew that the 20 copper coins they brought were their true intentions. The corners of Zhao Yun'er's mouth curled up slightly. She continued to ask her aunt in stone to sit down. Because of this matter, the atmosphere wasn't very harmonious. Liang Jinxiao also felt that his two brothers' words were too much. He supported Zhao Yun'er's approach. After lunch, the men in the family rested for a while, and then went out to work. Chapter 868. She wasn't very clear about her younger sister's recent situation, so she came to ask about it. After learning about Liang Jinyu's situation, Liang Jinxiao sighed deeply and couldn't help wiping the corners of her eyes. She thought that Liang Jinyu's life was much harder than hers before, and wondered how Liang Jinyu managed to survive for so many years. Now she had a way to help her younger sister. Otherwise, it would be good to give her a hand. Liang Jinyu saw Liang Jinxiao's worry, so she patted Liang Jinxiao's hand and said, "Sister, don't worry about me. Life is like this. My family is a little difficult now, but maybe it will be better in the future." Liang Jinxiao sighed and nodded. "Okay, Jinyu, remember to tell me if you need any help. I'll definitely help you if I can. Especially when it comes to money, don't be shy. Stone has grown up now. If he marries a wife, it will cost a lot of money." Liang Jinyu was very touched when she heard that. In fact, she didn't often get to enjoy the warmth of family. Even if Liang Jinxiao didn't do anything, she still felt much better with Liang Jinxiao's words. "Okay, sister, I know. Alas, life is not easy these days. Jinyu, you have the most difficult life in our family. Don't take our brother's words to heart." Liang Jinxiao comforted her. Liang Jinyu nodded heavily. "Sister, I know. We're a family. I won't be so calculative." Okay. The two continued to chat for a while. Liang Jinyu felt that it was about time, so she stood up and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Sister, I'll go back first. There's still a lot of work to do in the fields at home." Liang Jinxiao saw a little eagerness in Liang Jinyu's eyes, and thought that Liang Jinyu's family might be very busy. Although she was reluctant to leave her younger sister, she nodded in the end and said, "Okay then. Okay, Jinyu, take care when you go back with Stone." "I know, sister. Don't worry." With that, he got up and left. Zhao Yun'er just came out of the kitchen and handed the packed food to Liang Jinyu. "Auntie, this is the braised chicken and braised meat that I made at noon. I packed some for you. Take it back and give it to your other cousins. They didn't come today, so let them have a taste." Liang Jinyu had already had a good meal at Zhao Yun'er's house today. She already felt guilty in her heart. How could she have the nerve to bring something back? "There's no need, Yun'er girl. We've already eaten lunch. You can keep these for dinner. Little sister, Yun'er's last specially packed it for you, just accept it. If my family wants to eat more, we can buy more and make more. Just like Yun'er said, take these back and let the other children have a taste." Well, Liang Jinyu looked at Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Yun'er with hesitation. Zhao Yun'er had already put the food into Stone's hands without hesitation. "Auntie, you don't have to be so polite. We're a family. I've already packed it. I can't throw it away, can I?" Liang Jinyu sighed and said, "Okay, then I'll take it." "Yes." The corner of Zhao Yun'er's mouth raised into a smile. Chapter 869. After Liang Jinyu and Stone left, only Zhao Yun'er and Liang Jinxiao were left in the house. "Yun'er, only your aunt is living such a poor life in the family. Can you see if there's any way to help their family?" Liang Jinxiao asked. She knew that Zhao Yun'er had a lot of ideas. Maybe Zhao Yun'er had a way. Zhao Yuner was silent for a while. This group of people had a lot of ideas, such as giving money directly. However, Zhao Yuner knew that with her aunt's character, she would not easily accept charity from others. Therefore, she could only help her aunt find a way to make money. Zhao Yuner thought for a while. If she opened a restaurant, she might be able to get more people to help her aunt. Unfortunately, she was not even sure when she could open the restaurant. As for when she could ask her aunt for help, it was even more impossible. I have to think of other ways to solve this problem. Mother, why don't we let Aunt raise pigs? Zhao Yuner asked tentatively. Liang Jinxiao was a little curious. Raise pigs? Zhao Yuner nodded and answered, yes, mother. Raising pigs is much more comfortable than farming. Raising pigs is our own business. Aunt's farming is rented by the landlord. Throughout the year, most of the harvest is taken away by the landlord. Therefore, we can't make much money at all. However, raising pigs is different. Mother, think about it. The pork sold is 8 copper coins per kilogram. A pig is more than 200 kilograms, so it can be sold for about 2 taels of silver. If we raise 10 or 20 to 30 pigs, we can make dozens of taels of silver a year. It's much more profitable than farming. Liang Jinxiao thought that raising pigs was indeed very profitable. Many people in their village would raise a cart full of pigs. This way, they could kill them during the new year and sell them for some money. They could also eat a lot of pork. However, raising pigs was a very tiring thing. Therefore, a large family could only raise 1 pig a year, or at most 2 or 3. Zhao Yuner said to raise so many at once. How could they raise so many at once? Liang Jinxiao sighed. Yuner, it's not easy to raise pigs. It costs a lot of money to catch so many piglets. Besides, what do we feed them? Raising dozens of pigs all at once. Wouldn't you need a very big place to raise them? Liang Jinxiao voiced his doubts in one breath. In Zhao Yuner's eyes, none of this was a problem. Zhao Yuner then explained to Liang Jinxiao. Mother, you're right. Actually, we only need to pay for the first year of catching piglets. By the second year, we don't need to catch piglets anymore because our sows can give birth. Generally, when sows give birth, there will be more than 10 piglets. In the second year, besides keeping some for ourselves to feed, we can even sell some piglets to make money. As for what to feed the pigs, if we really don't do farm work and focus on taking care of them, we won't have time to gather pigweed and find food for the piglets. Pigs are not very particular about what they eat. When the time comes, we can just get them some rice bran and swill. As for the place to raise pigs, we can only build a large pig factory with 2 or 3 houses. If we don't use brick houses, it won't cost much. At most, it can be built with 3 to 5 taels of silver. After listening to Zhao Yuner's explanation, Liang Jinxiao nodded. Zhao Yuner's words were indeed reasonable. Chapter 870. If they raised 20 to 30 pigs a year, they could probably earn 30 to 40 taels of silver. How could an ordinary farmer earn so much? After a few years, they could even build a house and buy land. Their lives would definitely be happier than they were now. This was indeed a way for Liang Jinyu's family to live a good life. Liang Jinxiao still had something to worry about. Yuner, how can we let your youngest aunt agree to raise pigs? She probably doesn't have the capital to invest so much, and she probably doesn't dare to. If we lend her the money, she might not accept it. Zhao Yuner frowned slightly. Although Liang Jinyu was a little poor, she was ambitious and didn't like to accept other people's help. If she wanted to help Liang Jinyu's family, she had to think of a way to prevent Liang Jinyu from thinking that she was deliberately helping her family. Mother, you see, how about this? Let's raise pigs in our village. When we start raising pigs, we'll invest the capital. When the time comes, we'll call youngest aunt and youngest uncle over and let them help us take care of these pigs. In the first year, we'll pay them first. The next day, we'll tell them that the money earned from raising pigs will be split 50 to 50. This way youngest aunt should agree. When Liang Jinxiao heard this, he felt that Zhao Yuner's method was feasible. So he said to Zhao Yuner, "All right, Yuner, we'll do as you say." After chatting with Liang Jinxiao for a while, Zhao Yuner got up and went back. Zhao Yun, still had to go up the mountain to test out Mu Lianfeng's weapon. Just as she left the third branch's house, she saw old man Chen coming over with a smile on his face and a bag in his hand. She didn't know what was inside. When he saw Zhao Yin'er coming out of the third branch's house, old man Chen walked up to Zhao Yin'er with a smile and said, "Yin'er here." Zhao Yin'er glanced at old man Chen and saw him take out a handful of candies from the bag. "Father Chen, what are you?" Zhao Yin'er looked at Father Chen with confusion. This candy was good stuff. Old man Chen seemed to have a lot of it in his bag. In addition to the candies, Father Chen continued to grab a handful of peanuts and stuff them into Zhao Yin'er's hands. Papa Chen couldn't hide the smile on his face. With such a smile on his amiable face, he looked like the Maitreya Buddha. "Haha, Yin'er, my wife is pregnant. This is a joyous occasion. So I went out and bought some sweets, peanuts and melon seeds to give to the villagers as a celebration." Zhao Yin'er was stunned when she heard this. Looking at the excited smile on Papa Chen's face, Zhao Yin'er felt unusually sad. Zhao Yin'er thought in her heart, Papa Chen only had one wife, and that was Zhang Chui'er. Papa Chen only had a lame son. Zhang Chui'er was pregnant, so that the Chen family could carry on the family line. However, for so many years, the Chen family had been looking forward to it. But there was no news from Zhang Chui'er's belly. Although Papa Chen and his wife didn't say anything, they were still looking forward to having a grandson. They couldn't let the Chen family die. After looking forward to it for so many years, Zhang Chui'er was finally pregnant. It was normal for Papa Chen to be so excited. However, Zhao Yin'er was worried. Was the child in Zhang Chui'er's belly really the Chen family's? Chapter 871. Therefore, the child in Zhang Chui'er's belly was most likely conceived after she had an affair with another man. In that case, it was not old Chen's family's root. Old Chen's family was so happy because they were kept in the dark. If this matter was not exposed, old Chen's family would definitely raise Zhang Chui'er's child wholeheartedly. Zhang Chui'er had already cheated on her man. How could she let old Chen's family raise an outsider's child for her? Zhao Yin'er sighed heavily in her heart. Not to mention that this was the ancient times. Even in the 21st century, if such a thing were to be exposed, he would probably be cursed to death. Old Chen saw Zhao Yin'er in a daze and didn't know what she was thinking, so he asked, "Yin'er, why are you in a daze? Hurry up and take it. I still have to send it to other families." Zhao Yin'er came back to her senses, and there was a touch of bitterness at the corner of her mouth. Although she couldn't interfere in other people's affairs and shouldn't meddle in other people's business, Zhang Chui'er was really too much. Old Chen's family seemed to be more pitiful. She couldn't let an honest man be bullied by a bitch. "Thank you, old Chen. Congratulations," Zhao Yin'er said with a smile, but there was a hint of bitterness in her smile. Old Chen replied with a smile, "You're welcome." When old Chen was about to leave old Zhao's house, Li Chuiying saw him and hurriedly called out to old Chen, "Old Chen, your wife is pregnant? That's great news." Li Chuiying came forward and said with a smile, Thank you. Old Chen, since you're giving candy, it's such a great news. You can't just give it to my family and not the other families, right?" Li Chuiying said and stared at the things in the bag in old Chen's hand. Old Chen was a little embarrassed. Well, didn't he already give it to Zhao Yin'er? So he gave it to old Zhao's family. He didn't buy much, so he could only give a little to each family. If he gave it to every family, the things he bought wouldn't be enough. Oh, old Chen, Tianyu hasn't eaten candy for a long time. You won't be so stingy as to not give it to us, right? Li Chuiying continued to be thick-skinned. She could give the candy to Tianyu. She could eat peanuts and melon seeds by herself. Thinking of these trivial matters, Li Chuiying greedily swallowed her saliva. Since Li Chuiying said that, old Chen would feel embarrassed if he didn't give it to her. Forget it, it would be fine if he gave it to old family's family. Thus, Papa Chen grabbed a handful from the bag and handed it to Li Chuiying. Share some with your families. It's wedding candy. Everyone will feel happy after eating it, Old Man Chen instructed. Li Chuiying took it with a smile and said to Old Chen, Got it. Thank you, Old Chen. You're welcome. I'm leaving now. Old Chen said goodbye. Old Chen, don't go too far. Okay. Zhao Yun'er watched from the side. Seeing Li Chuiying's excited look after receiving the candy, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. She was speechless. How could there be such a shameless and greedy person? Li Chuiying saw Zhao Yun looking at her with contempt and disgust. She scolded Zhao Yun'er angrily. Yun'er, what are you looking at? Seriously, is this how the elders look at you? Chapter 872. Li Chuiying couldn't win against Zhao Yun'er, but she didn't dare to offend her too much. She was afraid that Mu Lianfeng would find trouble with her, so she snorted. I don't want to talk to you. Of course, she wasn't in the mood to talk now. She had just received so many candies, peanuts, and melon seeds. She had to sneak back and hide in the house to eat. The other members of old Zhao's family were all in the house, so they didn't know that Father Chun had come and sent these things. Since these things were given to her, she could take them back and eat them all by herself. There wasn't much to begin with, and old Zhao's family still had so many things. If everyone shared them, what each person got wouldn't even be enough to fill the gaps between her teeth. How could she eat to her heart's content? She might as well eat them all by herself secretly. Zhao Yun'er guessed Li Chuiying's good plan, so she shouted in the yard of old Zhao's family. Grandma, eldest aunt, youngest aunt, come out quickly. Father Chun just sent candies, peanuts, and melon seeds over. Come out and eat them with me. They're at second aunt's place. After Zhao Yun'er shouted, the people in old Zhao's house heard that someone had sent these good things over, so they naturally ran out happily. Li Chuiying was about to walk out, but she stopped and looked at Zhao Yun'er with hatred. This little teach, she's too much. She must have shouted on purpose to attract the other members of old Zhao's family. Facing Li Chuiying's eyes that seemed to want to eat her alive, Zhao Yun'er's mouth hung a faint smile. Second aunt, why are you looking at me like that? Did I do anything wrong? How could Li Chuiying say that Zhao Yun'er did something wrong? If the other members of old Zhao's family knew about it, they would scold her to death. She couldn't let Zhao Yun'er, this little tch, have any evidence against her. There are so many good things. What Chunhua said hurriedly as soon as she came out. Her originally cloudy eyes seemed to be shining. Li Chuiying screamed in his heart. It's over. It's over. Now that everything was in Hua Chunhua's hands, what else would she want to eat? Zhao Xinhui also walked out and asked Hua Chunhua, Mother, where are you? I want to eat too. I haven't eaten snacks in a long time. I'm dying of craving them. Feng Zhengxia carried Zhao Yangyang out in Xinpan, followed behind her. Zhao Yun'er smiled and said, Grandmother, isn't it in second aunt's hands? Hua Chunhua took a look. It was true. She walked up to Li Chuiying and said to Li Chuiying, Give it to me. Li Chuiying was unwilling to give up. Just as he was hesitating about what to say, Hua Chunhua didn't want to waste time with Li Chuiying. She directly took it from Li Chuiying's hands. What are you waiting for? Hua Chunhua scolded Li Chuiying unhappily. Zhao Xinhui walked up to Hua Chunhua with a smile and said, Mother, give it to me, give it to me. Hua Chunhua felt sorry for her daughter. She hadn't secretly bought anything delicious for her daughter for a long time. Now that she had something good, she naturally had to give it to Zhao Xinhui. Come on, Huier, take it. Eat slowly in the room. Zhao Xinhui didn't have a lot of things. She said a little disappointedly. Why is there so little? Hua Chunhua patted Zhao Xinhui. Huier, they gave it to you. How much can they give you? Eat it. It's better than nothing. Zhao Xinhui thought about it and agreed. Although it was a little, it was much better than nothing. Okay, mother, I'll go inside. Chapter 873. Hua Chunhua took a look at her great-grandson. His cheeks were pink, and he was very cute. He was also Zhao Tianlong and Xinpan'er's child. She liked him from the bottom of her heart. Zhao Yangyang even said to Hua Chunhua sweetly, Great-grandma, Yangyang wants to eat candy. Zhao Yangyang's greeting melted Hua Chunhua's heart. Hua Chunhua couldn't bear to reject him. Hua Chunhua said to Zhao Xinhui, give Yangyang 2 candies. Zhao Xinhui pursed her lips. She was unwilling to accept it. Yangyang is still a child. He likes candies. Give him 2 and the rest is yours, Hua Chunhua coaxed. Zhao Xinhui was unwilling to accept it, but she knew she had to give it to Zhao Xinhui. All right then. Just as she was about to take out the candy, Li Chuiying suddenly became anxious. She was unwilling to accept it. Why was it that Old Man Chen didn't let her eat it, and gave it all to the other members of Old Man Zhao's family? If that was the case, then why did she ask Old Man Chen for help just now? Li Chuiying hurriedly said to Hua Chunhua, Mother, my Tianyu also wants to eat candies. I asked Papa Chen for this. You should also give my Tianyu some candies, right? Hua Chunhua frowned slightly, and looked at Zhao Xinhui. Well, Zhao Xinhui was unwilling to accept it. She was afraid that Hua Chunhua would ask her to take out more candy. Mother, you said you would give Yang Yang 2 candies. The rest is mine. Zhao Xinhui was unwilling to accept it. Hua Chunhua knew that if she asked Zhao Xinhui to take out 2 more candy, Zhao Xinhui would definitely argue with her. Well, Huier, can't you give me 2 more? No. No, Mother, if you keep talking, I won't give you a single pill. Yang Yang can forget about getting any. Hua Chunhua looked at Li Chuiying and said, Second daughter-in-law, you don't have to ask for it. It's not much anyway. What can your sister-in-law eat with only this much? Feng Zhangxia heard this, and was afraid that if Li Chuiying really did not take out any candy for Zhao Xinhui, Yang Yang would be implicated, and would not be able to eat any candy. Therefore he said in a hurry, Yeah, there isn't much left. Tianyu is an adult now. I think it's better if he doesn't eat it. My Yang Yang is a little younger, so it's better for him to eat. Feng Zhangxia's words made Li Chuiying even more unhappy. Why should her hard work be used as a dowry for someone else? Li Chuiying had a cold expression on his face as he said sarcastically, eldest sister-in-law, you've got a pretty good plan. Why should Father Chen's candy be given to your Yang Yang? But my Tianyu can't eat it. Don't use age as an excuse. Yang Yang is already an adult. How can she still eat candy? She's fighting with a child. Li Chuiying's words made Feng Zhangxia and Zhao Xinhui blush. Zhao Xinhui pulled Liang Jinxiao angrily and said, Mother, look, second sister-in-law said that to me. She's too much. Feng Zhangxia stood on the same side as Zhao Xinhui. Mother, what second sister-in-law said is wrong. How can she say that to Yang? Hua Chunhua could not bear to see Zhao Xinhui being wronged, so she glared at Li Chuiying. Li Chuiying pursed his lips and continued unwillingly, Mother, I didn't say anything wrong. What I said is the truth. I shamelessly asked Old Man Chen for the candies, because I want Tianyu to eat some of them. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.